Good morning, everyone. Nice to see y'all back again. This is Calvin Butler with the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers and the National Dispatchers Network. And today is Saturday, and it's 10:15. Actually, a little bit late. It's 10:22, but it is time for the Six Figures Booking Freight from Home show. A lot going on. A lot of things going on in the world that's going to affect the trucking industry. So we're going to talk about that today. Let me let Deja in here. We're going to talk about some of the things that are going on in the world today, not just in this country, but worldwide, and how it is going to affect the trucking industry. Talking about the coronavirus. I want y'all to get scared and start running out. Oh, get my face mask, get my face mask, get my face mask. No. We're just gonna talk about the implications of how this is going to affect the trucking industry, because it is starting to affect the markets, the investors' markets, the stocks prices, and this is not just in certain areas. This is worldwide. So, and I've got a feeling that it's only going to get worse. So, let's talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. We're also going to talk about some things that we're doing that's coming up. We're also going to review the steps to dispatching, okay? Because we've got a lot of new people that join, and I've been getting a lot of messages and stuff from emails and in the back office side and through our back office channel on communications. That people are asking questions, but they're questions that can be answered if you just follow and watch the orientation videos, or if you just go watch the series, How to Dispatch, okay? Because we have an entire series up. Matter of fact, I am going to create a video list. I'm going to create a list of all the videos of that entire that series from step 1 through step 6. And I am going to create a list in our back office site and on our YouTube channel. So all you have to do is go in and just pull up that list, and then you'll be able to watch all of those videos right behind each other. So, and that is the How to Dispatch series. We are getting that much closer to our launch of the I thought someone said something, but we are getting that much closer to our launch of our new platform for brokers. For those of you who are brokers, not those who want to be brokers, but those of you who are already brokers, who are paid your bond, paid that average of almost $6,000 to get your bond. You paid you've gotten your insurance at $850,000 to $1.2 million. You've gotten that. You're paying that every month. You've paid for your authority, the $850 you paid for that authority. You've done that, and you've been buying shipper lists, and you've been calling. No one is signing you on. We've got a program designed just for you, okay? Just for you, just for those people who are going to be brokers. It is our broker efficiency consulting division. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today. So we got a lot to talk about, and we're going to have Q&A after all that talk. So let's get started. Welcome, everybody. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen and say welcome to everybody. All right, screen sharing is up. All right. Now, how's everybody doing today?
Good.
Great. Deja, I recognize your voice anywhere. Not that you're a loud person, it's just that you do so much, and your voice become recognizable. All right. Did you all get that worked out with that a gentleman you all was working with to try and get some dedicated runs?
What was that, Calvin? What was
you
that?
all were I noticed on the chat group, okay, you and another and a few others were trying to get something hammered out with a supplier of dedicated
Yes, that was
freight.
me. Yeah, that was me and Deja.
Okay. And who is me?
Natasha.
Natasha. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I knew Deja was involved there somehow. But
Yeah, it was so crazy.
Yeah, the carrier that I had, he had a problem with me being a dispatcher and me taking 10% and all this stuff. And I'm telling him, like, I'm telling you to give me the quote. You give me your price. Just because I'm taking 10% doesn't mean you're not going to make any money.
okay.
Just tell me how much you need and we'll work with that. We're just putting in a quote. It's not set in stone. The customer might not even take it. Just give me a quote. And he's like, no, we don't want that type of business and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, so you don't want to make any money? He was like, listen, I'm just not interested in that type of work and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, so you don't want to make any money.
All right, so it was the carrier.
Yes.
All right. Is that the only carrier you have? Or was it a carrier that had multiple trucks?
It was the only carrier that I have that has multiple trucks.
Okay. How many trucks?
I couldn't find anyone in that area.
Okay.
It was Iowa.
All right. How many trucks does he have?
48.
Yes, 48 trucks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How many dedicated loads approximately? Because I saw the post or I saw the conversation where they had loads going all across the United States.
Mm-hmm.
There was a ton of dedicated freight, right?
They were all coming out of Shelby, Iowa, though.
Exactly, but it was coming out of Iowa, but it was going to just about all points, right?
Right.
Okay.
In the Midwest, yeah.
Yeah, it was. And Midwest usually pays pretty good. Okay.
Okay.
For those of you all that don't. Now, I'm about to do y'all a huge favor here. For all of you truckers out there that own trucks, for all of you owner operators that own multiple trucks, if you got anywhere from 20 trucks plus, hit us up. You all need to contact these young ladies because they've got a lead on some serious dedicated freight. Now, don't be stubborn and don't be prideful and let your pride get in the way of you all making money. Now, another gentleman just passed up on a great opportunity. Yes, this network charges 10% for their dispatch services. Why? Because we're better than everyone else in the industry. Okay, so we charge what we charge because we are the best at what we do. As you all can see, we are getting access to a number of great paying freight sources. The only reason why we are getting that type of access, I get emails all the time. Okay, the only reason why people are seeking us out because we are a very large network. Numbers matters, and when shippers see our numbers, when these large brokerage firms see our numbers, they contact us because they want to connect with all of the owner operators that we have under contract. If you are not under contract with one of the members of our network, which is the National Dispatchers Network, if you're not a contracted member of one of those members, you won't get access to those types of loads or those freights that we have that are coming up. And we're going to be connecting with a lot more people, a lot more shippers, a lot more sources of dedicated freight in the coming months. Okay? So if you are an owner operator and you own more than 20 trucks, get in contact with us. You can call me at 866-973-6445 and I will put you in touch with our network.
No.
Or, Natasha, what's your number?
My phone number is 772-985-7628.
Okay, I'll hear that. Deja, what's your number?
248-697-2788.
All right. Now, when you all call these numbers, don't call with the BS. Okay? Don't do that. All right? If you're serious about running some good dedicated freight, call them up. Okay? Their fees are going to be 10% of the load because they are owner-op business managers and they have to make a living just like you do. We are in the business of helping everyone to earn great money. So don't call up with the BS. Don't call up with the, well, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Then you just want to go dial 1-800-10. That's what you need to call. But don't call them. Okay? All
Yeah,
right.
and actually, that is not the only lanes that we have.
No, I
He's
know it's
actually
not.
he's actually been feeding me more and more in all different areas too, so it's not limited to Iowa.
Exactly. So, if you all want to get on to some great dispatching and some great loads, hey, if you're tired of running cheap freight, if you're tired of running all over the country, you want some dedicated lanes, this is the network you need to be seeking out. Okay. All right. Let's make this announcement real quick. Now, everybody, great work, guys. Great work, by the way. Let's make this announcement real quick. If you are on the open mics and you have a lot going on in the background, please turn your mic off because we got a lot of, because I'm hearing a lot of extra, stuff in the background from people. I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from. But if you've got some stuff going on in the background, if you're in your truck and you're riding down the road and you got your window down, all that stuff is gonna come through on the mics. Y'all might not think it does, but it does. If you're moving around and your chair is squeaky, if you're flushing the toilet, all that type of stuff is coming through right on through the mics. Okay, these mics will pick up everything. I've had people that have been in like, I guess, a house or apartment, and there was other people in the other room, and we heard everything that was going on in the other room because they were not being quiet. Okay, I'm not gonna say what they were doing, but it sounded, it sounded pretty personal. So let's make sure that if you're on this broadcast live, this is a live broadcast. We do not cut anything out before we transfer it over to YouTube. So we want everything to be authentic. This is a live broadcast, and these mics are very sensitive, and they will pick it up. Whether you think they are or not, they will pick it up. So with that being said, let's continue. Now, one of the other things that I wanted to mention to you all is this. We finally got our problem solved with the being able to play a video and have you all hear the sound at the same time. Okay, so we was able to get that solved, and let me demonstrate that to you all right now. Okay, I think you all can probably hear this. I got it up too loud. All right, was that too loud? That was too loud. So, but we did solve that problem. We can now play videos, and you all can now hear them as we play them onto the site itself. But I think I got my sound system turned up a little bit too loud. So let me turn it down some. But let me let some other people in. All right. But I think we did get that problem solved. So today we'll be demonstrating that with some stuff that I have to show you all. All right. How many of y'all have heard about the coronavirus? How many of y'all have heard about it? I didn't want everybody to mute your mics, by the way. I wasn't trying to say everybody mute your mics, but
I heard about it.
okay. All right. Do you all agree with me in saying that this is something that is going to affect the trucking industry?
For sure.
Sure.
Definitely.
Also,
Well,
There won't
everything
be
is
so much
made in
cheap
China,
freight.
so.
all right, one at a time. Say that again now.
I said everything is made in China.
Well, it's not just that it's made in China, because a pandemic is not something that is going to be exclusively in one area. Okay, this is something that I mean,
It's spreading, right?
Yeah, it's globalized, and technology
Right.
is the reason why it's globalized. Because back in the day when we had the outbreak of tuberculosis, smallpox, and all those other type of things, the reason why they stayed contained in their own specific areas and didn't go worldwide, because people didn't have easy access to travel like they do. Okay, I mean, at any given time, there's 10, 15,000 flights in the air. I didn't realize that much air travel goes on, right? There's a flight taking off every 2 minutes from every major airport in the world. These flights are traveling all over the place. Cruise ships are just running all over the place, not to mention the private jets and the private forms of transportation, yachts and things like that. And then when you get within the areas of where you can drive from one country to the next, or one place to the next, all the people who are driving, going from place to place. Then you got everybody who's connecting at restaurants, at shopping malls, at grocery stores, out in the gas stations, at public, just everything. So technology has made the world a smaller place. Okay. So when something like this happens now, it's not as isolated as we might think because we're separated by space. Okay. Now, with that being said, it's starting to affect the markets globally because they understand that how technology and the easy access to travel, has made it much easier for something like this to be removed from an isolated spot to being, out in the general public. Okay, and let's not forget the fact that it's primarily transferred from one sick person to another person who is not sick or whatever it may be. But there's got to be something behind this that's on a genetic level, just in the way things are. This is where the world is now, as far as some of the things that we do, some of the things that we have done in the past, with the environment, with food, with all the other stuff that is going on over the last 1,000 years, that causes something like this to evolve. Okay, because this is how we, the old adage, the survival of the fittest. This is one of the reasons why the theory of another being, an alien, from outer space or whatever, if y'all believe that thing, why it couldn't necessarily come here and take over this planet because they're not from this planet, that they came here to this planet, they may not be immune to, some of the things that we are naturally immune to. Why? Because we've been through it for thousands of years. We've earned the right to be on this planet. So anything else that will come in from outside of our solar system that comes into this planet, the simple fact that the trees give off carbon monoxide might kill them. I'm sorry, give off the oxygen might kill them. The simple fact that when we breathe out carbon monoxide, that the trees and the plants and stuff need to live, and they give back oxygen that we need to live. One of those two things might completely destroy another being coming in. Now, by the same right, the makeup of that, the evolution of that, is what's made us immune to certain things. But when something else is introduced into that evolutionary process that we have not developed an immune system to, it creates a problem. And that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing that problem from just coronavirus. Because originally it started out in animals. And somehow or another, it has skipped an evolutionary, link. It has skipped the link and being able to get transferred over to humans. Okay. But I know I'm giving y'all a history on how things work, but that's just my mind. Like I said, I hear stuff and bam, it's there. It's like it's downloaded. So don't ask me how I know all this. I just know. You can look it up and verify. I guarantee you, look this stuff up, you Google it, it'll be exactly what I'm telling you. Why? Because I heard it, and that's my autographic memory at work. Okay. Now, with that being said, truckers, owner operators, they're always doing what? Traveling all over the country, right? They interact with a lot of people. And I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just giving you all the hard facts. They interact with a lot of people. That on top of the fact that if this progresses to the next level, you're gonna have a lot of people not going places, not going out shopping, not going to the grocery stores, not going to the movies, not doing a whole bunch of, not traveling, not staying in hotels. That is going to affect the market. It's going to affect the trucking industry. Now, is it going to affect the trucking industry in a bad way, or is it going to affect the trucking industry in a good way? That's the question, right? Is everybody still there, or did I scare everybody away?
I'm here.
All right.
Yes.
The question is this going to affect the trucking industry in a bad way or a good way? And this is going to affect you all as business managers and freight brokers and shippers and everybody who is in the support part of that industry. How is it going to affect us and everyone else involved? That's the real question. Now, I know I'm making y'all think some serious stuff this morning, and it's not the normal happy upbeat, but this is real life. This is the world we live in. This is the industry we operate in. So when stuff like this happens, instead of just sticking our heads in the sand and running from it and hiding from it and pretending like it don't exist, you know, that don't really work. You know, despite what our leaders are saying, that one day we're gonna wake up and this is gonna miraculously be gone away. Yeah. All right. But it doesn't work that way. Okay, it just doesn't work that way. So, by show of hands or show of voices, how many of you think that this is going to affect the trucking industry in a negative way? Let's hear you. Yay?
Yay.
Okay. Who else? Owner Michael says yay. Who else? Someone on the chat says Michelle says yes, negative. Okay, let me get everybody out of the private mode here. To the all mode. Everyone in the meeting go up. All right. Michelle says yes, negative. All right. All right. Anybody else want to weigh in on the negative side? All right. Who believes this is going to affect or can affect the trucking industry and the freight industry in a positive way?
Me.
All right. Jonathan says, I do. Who said me?
I do too.
Deja.
Okay, Deja said yes.
Natasha too.
All right. All right. All right. Now, the obvious thing for people to say is, oh, it's going to be negative. It's going to be negative. It's going to be negative. You know, people not shopping, people not doing this, people not doing that. Going to cut down on the shipments and this and that. I don't think so. Because remember what happens when these things happen. You have huge, what they call processing centers that opens up and distribution centers. Because people still going to need what? Food, right? People still going to need. People still going to need the things that they need, but they're not going to be able to get out to or they won't be able to get, or they won't be willing to go out into the different stores and gather in large, segments. So what they will probably, what's going to start happening is they're going to have these drop distribution points, and stuff is going to need to be sent out, and they're going to have to, and it's going to be more stuff that's going to have to be brought to the doors of people instead of them going out to receive them. Now, when that happens, and I hate to say who's gonna benefit, but someone's going to benefit from that. Remember the old saying I said about 3 or 4 months ago, when there's blood in the streets? Y'all remember that? We did a broadcast a while back about when it was during the Celadon crisis, when Celadon was shutting down and everybody was hollering doom and gloom, truckers gonna be out of business and everything's gonna happen and this and that. And we made the assessment that Celadon closure was actually good for the industry. And for the most part, it was.
Wow. You know what no one's thinking about too? All the panic that people go through, and they're telling you get water, get canned goods, get this, get that.
Exactly.
People are going to go buy all this, and then nothing happens.
Load up on your antihistamines, your
And then
medicine,
you're going to use it
water.
because it's there, and then they're going to want more, and it's going to be a cycle.
Exactly. It's supply and demand. Supply and demand. There's an old saying, you know, about investing in the markets and things of that nature. I'm going to pull it up for you all. The saying goes, when there's blood in the streets. And there it is right there. The old saying is, when there's blood in the streets, okay, Baron Rothschild, one of the richest, you know, families that ever graced this planet, in the 18th century, British nobleman and member of the Rothschild banking family, is credited with saying that the time to buy is when there's blood in the streets. Okay? Now, he should know, because Rothschild made a fortune buying in the panic that followed the Battle of Waterloo against Napoleon. And that has proved consistently true time and time again. Okay? All these people who are going to the stock market now and saying, oh, sell, the stock market is crashing, this is that. You know what I'm doing? I'm steady putting my money in. Why? Because it's buying more now. Because things are going down. The prices of the shares are going down, right? It makes no sense to buy Bitcoin shares when it's at $19,000 per Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin has dropped all the way down to almost $6,000. When before all this, it was hanging at around $12,000, $13,000. Now the price of a Bitcoin share, you can buy a Bitcoin now for almost $6,000, and it's steadily going down. So when I was normally able to get, let's say, you know, if I'm investing $500, $600 a month into a wide range of things, when I was normally only able to get, you know, 5 shares of Amazon for $1,200. Why? Because the shares were almost what? $600, $700 a share, almost $600 a share. But now they dropped down to about $200 a share. I can, by saying what? $1,000 or $2,000 can do what? It can buy almost 3 times the amount of shares, right?
Right.
So what's going to happen when all this goes away or comes to pass? Because just like everything else will come to pass. I'm going to have almost 3 times more shares, or 7, 8, 9, 10 times more shares than I would have normally had, and the price is going to go back up, which means I'm going to have what? A whole lot of money. Okay? Same thing with this industry. Okay? If you are a trucking company right now, don't start pulling your trucks off the road because you think, well, nobody's going to be, you know, just the opposite. Just the opposite. People are going to go out now and start trying to buy the stuff that they need now. I'm not gonna, yesterday, I went to Walmart and bought a case of water, a case of Gatorade, you know, all the antihistamines and non-perishable foods and stuff, and you know, I spent about $200-300 yesterday just stocking up on stuff specifically that my family and I can have during a crisis if this thing does, you know, get to a certain point.
I'll tell you this right now. Walmart would first, before they close their doors over a virus, they'll first shower you with antiviral stuff on your way in the door. They'll
Exactly. Exactly.
Come on in. We got exactly. The antiviral mist.
So when you all start, and here's what I'm going to repeat right now. You all can call me crazy and say that, man, Calvin don't know what he's talking about. That fool just blabbing. But you all are going to start seeing a lot of new dedicated freight up on load. You're going to start seeing a lot of chatter out there about companies hiring and contracting people, contracting these truckers out to go and pick up some serious loads and paying some serious money. Dispatchers are going to start making some serious money because the trucks are going to start getting paid more. Freight brokers are all of a sudden going to have access to more freight than they've ever had. And watch how the price of freight goes up. Okay, somebody's got a lot of stuff going on in the background. Okay, let me see if I can figure out who this is. All right, there we go. Nancy, whoever, you had a lot of stuff going on in the background. I had to mute you there for a second. But you all are gonna start seeing the price of freight is going to spike. Okay. Now this is not going to be a permanent spike, but like I said, the time to buy is when there's blood in the streets. Okay. I'm gonna go for a walk. My dogs are going for a walk. Come here, AJ. Let me tell y'all bye bye. AJ, bye street. I'll go for y'all walk. But you all are gonna start seeing my dogs, they spoil, and my wife, she spoils. Those are babies. But you all are going to start seeing things spike here in the coming weeks and months. Okay. So
I think there's going to be a big spike in the hot shots and the box trucks too.
Oh yeah.
People want to go
Yeah.
out less and less. They need the smaller trucks to bring it closer and closer.
Exactly, because it's going to be a spike throughout the industry altogether. The big trucking companies are going to be picking up from the distribution plants and the ports, and they're going to be just swamped with deliveries going out to all points. Then the smaller ones, like the box trucks, the hot shots, and sprinter vans, they're going to be mostly busy with the courier type services, running them to different couriers, like the Amazon couriers, Grubhub, and all these other places where you go and you drop stuff off, and all these places are going to have to be, they're going to be running out to smaller community distribution centers or to directly to homes themselves. Watch for a lot of apps to pop up where people are going to be able to all of a sudden on Grubhub and these delivery apps like Uber and places like that. Now instead of just delivering, cooked food or food from restaurants, you're going to see an upswing in them delivering from grocery stores, from distribution centers, from places, from Sam's and the outlets and things of that nature, because people are still going to have to live. People are still going to have to get the daily supplies that they're going to need.
Yeah, even not only food and stuff, even like electronics and things like that. People don't want to go to the store for it.
Exactly.
And even Apple now has a 2-hour delivery.
Exactly. So
you can get accessory for your Apple products within 2 hours.
Exactly. So you're already starting to see the handwriting on the wall. So for those of you out there who say, man, Calvin, you don't know what you're talking about. Mark my word. I could be wrong.
I agree. I think the smaller and smaller trucks, because they're able to do it with less fuel. They're able to do it for a smaller price, and places already are popping up everywhere with distribution centers.
Yeah.
It's not like you got to go all the way to across the country for something.
Exactly. Now look. For those of you saying that, man, he's wrong, you could be right, but I doubt it. Okay. I doubt very seriously
go ahead.
That we are wrong. But go ahead.
I was gonna say it was some other things that I was thinking about are gonna affect the industry and the freight rates. I see like a lot, I think capacity is lowering for a lot of different reasons. Like insurance rates are going up, the ELD logs and stuff like that. A lot of stuff is like changing the industry, and a lot of trucking companies aren't keeping up with it, and they're shutting down. So like these bigger companies that are closing is lowering the capacity. And I think the more companies that close, the more we're going to need truckers. And I think that the prices of the freight is going to go up because the capacity is lowering.
Well, in a way, I think you're right, but the industry is starting to balance itself out. Because the reason why a lot of those companies are closing up because they're old school and they don't want to change the way they operate. Mm-hmm. A lot of these, old school, good old boy type companies that are used to running a certain way. Because remember, they fought the LED thing, they fought the electronic, they fought that with tooth and nail, right? They fought against, the new hours of service. They fought against all that. They fought against, the DOT, increased oversight. Why? Because, they were old school, paper laws.
Right. They don't want to change.
Run how they want to run, and all this other stuff. But, but because of technology, okay, is starting to push them out. But at the same time, you got people like yourself and people like us and people like our network who, in the trucking industry, you got these new breed of truckers who come in with technology, come in with, understanding that you can't run, 19, 20 hours with no sleep. They understand that. And as those companies and those individuals start getting more diverse and start getting more innovative with trucking, you'll see the industry will start to balance itself out. For every old school that's lost, you have 2 or 3 new schools coming in. So
yeah, I see brand new trucking companies like popping up almost every day. It's
yeah,
just one guy with his truck and he wants to hire someone on, and they're willing to give rates like
exactly. Now,
90%, 88%.
exactly. So shippers are gonna have to start, and brokers and shippers are gonna have to start revising who they want to work with. Because a lot of them say, I don't want to carry it, but pretty soon they're gonna be forced to. Now, with that being said, this is going to create, but you see how what we talk about when there's blood in the street, how everything just increases?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because whenever there's something like this that happens, it just creates more opportunity. It really does. It really, really does. So for those of you who thought this is going to be a doom and gloom broadcast, gotcha. Okay, this is not a doom and gloom broadcast. Yes, the coronavirus thing is a very serious thing. So yes, all of you, I'm advising all of my networks, my friends, my family, go out and get your antihistamines. I got a whole box of this type of stuff. I got a box of this type of stuff. I got cases of Gatorade, stuff with the electrolytes, cases of water. We got a whole 3 cases of MREs. All those you don't know what those are. I'm an old military guy. Meals ready to eat. Those things can last 50 years. Okay, there's a bunch of freeze dried stuff comes in a pack. Got everything you need in it. Got a whole dinner in that bad boy.
Where'd you get that?
You can pick them up at the Army surplus stores, the Army Navy stores. They got cases of them. Okay.
Yeah, but when you eat that, you better not expect to have a happy stomach the next day.
Hey, like I said, I'm old military. I spent 10 years eating that stuff. We used to go out. I'm old military, 10th Mountain Division. For those of y'all who know what that is, I'm 10th Mountain Division, U.S. Army Ranger. So look, Fort Drum, New York, 20, 30, 40 below zero. We spend 30 days at a time field exercise in 30-degree below zero weather, learning how to dig snow caves and survive in extreme cold weather training. Not just survive in it, but get up and move 100 miles in 4 days and be ready to battle with a full 70-pound ruck, all your ammunition, everything you got, you carry it. Why? Because it's too cold for the trucks to go out. Planes and the helicopters, the fuel freezes up in their line so they can't fly. So what do? They fly way up above in the atmosphere to 30,000 feet, 20,000 feet, and we jump out the back of a C-141 and do what's called a halo. And we hit the ground about 100 miles outside of our target zone. We have 4 days to get there and be ready to strike. That's 25 miles a day in sub-zero weather.
Well, I never did all that, but I do shovel the snow, and I live in Michigan, so I know how cold feels.
Yeah. So look, the meal ready, they're actually pretty good. I like them. I mean, I can make a gourmet meal out of them. So me and my family, we will be okay. Okay? I'm just letting you all know, be ready. Be ready. I'm not saying that it will come to that, but be ready. And this is not going to be the doom and gloom, at least not for this industry, and a lot of other industries are going to survive. Now, not only are they going to survive, but this industry is going to thrive during this crisis. Okay, you all are probably going to make more money than you've ever made before during this crisis. I want y'all to not feel down or get gloom when you start seeing stuff all over the television about this stuff. Know that this is your time to shine. It's time for you all and the people who you represent and who are your clientele. It's time for us to step up and provide the support that the rest of the country needs. Because we are the group of people that no one really talks about. But like always, this industry does what? Carries the country on its backs.
Save the day.
We do it every single day. But especially in times of crisis, when there's a hurricane, when there's a disaster, what happens? FEMA calls, who does FEMA call?
The truckers. Come
Exactly.
help us.
They start calling up the brokers, start calling and say, hey, how many trucks you got? I need trucks for this, I need trucks for that. Every single time this industry answers the call and steps up and saves the day. And we will again. Okay? We will again. That's why I love this industry. When I came into this industry, I was just thrown so far back when I sat down and started thinking about it. The chair I sit in, the clothes I wear, the food I eat, the stuff I put on my skin, the water I bathe in, the soap I use, the perfume, the cologne, the lights that come on, the house that I live in, the very ground that I walk in, the cars that I drive, everything came on the back of a truck. There is nothing you can't put your hand on anywhere that didn't come on the back of a truck. Now, when you think about that, this world could not survive without the trucking industry. It just can't. Okay? And that's a powerful thing. That's a very powerful thing. So not only will we be okay doing this crisis, we will thrive, and like always, the country will be able to depend on us. So get ready for it, because business is going to start jumping up in a very, very large way, and it's going to have a lot more implications than just finding good freight, because its lives are going to depend on what you all and the people we represent do. That's how important it is. And I wanted to stress that to everybody during today's broadcast. That's one of the things that I wanted to come on. I've been thinking about it for the last 2 weeks, and it was just weighing on me lately that how important we are doing crises like this, and how people sometimes don't really see or give us credit or give us that type of recognition. But we all know what we do every day. Every trucker knows what they do every day. I mean, they run a risk doing break time, doing Christmas, doing everything. They run the risk to make sure that the rest of us can be there. Okay? And up and down mountain tops. Traveling out in the areas where the wind is blowing so hard that you don't have a good truck, it'll blow you right over. I've seen that. I even had a 2,500-pound weights that I used to put in the back of my truck. That little weight. I don't know if guys who are truckers, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's like a steel small push car that runs the whole length of the middle of your truck, of your trailer. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Just put it in, and it helps your truck to have some weight to it when you're running
windy lanes.
Yeah, when you're running with no cargo. You're coming out of Nevada, coming through Louisiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Pensacola, Florida, Dothan, Alabama, and that wind hits that trailer, it'll flip you right over. Heading up the PA, I know what I'm talking about. That wind will flip you right over if that truck doesn't have some weight in it.
Especially on bridges.
Especially on bridges. Chesapeake. Those of you who don't know anything about Chesapeake, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
Oh yeah.
That thing scared the bejesus out of me the first time I had to go. Ain't lying, boy. I was scared. I was scared. I was like, oh Lord, have mercy. Mama didn't tell me about this one. But I did it. Okay. But it's coming, and don't you all get taken back or discouraged because y'all think this crisis is going to hurt. Industry. No, this crisis is going to put a big injection into this industry, and you all are going to be required to step up in a very, very, very big way. All right. I was someone that said something, and I kind of lost my train of thought. I wanted to touch on it. It'll come back to me in just a second. But yeah, this industry is going to do great during this crisis. I'm trying to think what it is. Now it's gonna eat. It's gonna burn me up. I'm thinking about it, and it was a great point that I wanted to bring about, but kind of got caught up into something else. But when it comes back to me, y'all will hear me just jump back to it. Now, excuse me. Now, does anybody have anything they want to say, about what we just covered, what we just talked about? Any I want to add their 2 cents or what? Okay, but does everybody see how this?
One question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How can we use this as a selling point to get new carriers on us? Like, how can we flip the script on them? Because I'm getting people who are like, oh, the virus, this and that, and we can't afford to spend any more of our money than what we're already getting. The rates are too low.
Well, just explain to them that this virus is, I don't want to say a godsend, not godsend. This virus is, I mean, look, this crisis is like any other crisis. Ask them this: what happens to the trucking industry when there's a huge hurricane disaster? What happens?
You get more money.
Exactly.
There's more stuff you gotta buy.
Yeah, I mean, what
Right,
happens?
snowstorms, all that stuff.
Exactly.
Anytime something is bad, somebody gotta fix it.
Earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, any natural disaster. What happens with the trucking industry?
Rates go up.
Oh my God!
You get the
Freight goes up. Freight goes up. FEMA kicks in and starts supplementing what? The shipping freights. Now, where do you think all that money comes from when freight goes up? It's not coming from the shipping companies. They're not putting more money into the load because now it's a disaster. No, FEMA kicks in. All them trillions of dollars that they have access to, they over that like fuel to the fire onto freight to make it more desirable for carriers to do what? Pick it up and run it because they need it right now. They need it yesterday, right?
Right.
What do you think is going to happen? This is a pandemic. This is not Florida hit by a hurricane. This is not, California hit by an earthquake. This is the entire world that's facing what? A pandemic.
Coast to coast.
The whole world. Not even just the United States, the whole entire world.
Exactly. Something where people are afraid to even shake hands. They're afraid to go out. So if they're afraid to go out, everything needs got to do what? It's got to come to them. And if they can't see that, then my God, they got blinders on.
Okay.
I mean, this can't be anything but good for the trucking industry and the industry that we're in right now. And you all, as a network, like you're saying, like Deja and Natasha, why do you think these people reached out to you all of a sudden? Where do you think all these new dedicated lanes are coming from all of a sudden? They're preparing.
I didn't think about it.
They're preparing. They're reaching out to whoever they can find that possibly has access to truckers. What's the whole purpose of our network?
Carriers.
Exactly. So a network like this is where you want to be at times like these, especially if you're a trucker. Brokers are going to start reaching out to us. Shippers are going to start reaching out to us. Us and what's that group that I just turned y'all on to last week? Remember when you tell them about when you go and sign up all your folks at?
You talking about Cargomatic?
Cargomatic. Okay, so networks like that and like our network and things like that. I mean, people are really starting to notice, or the people who run this industry and who matter are going to start to notice us in these types of networks. Okay. And the way you all were operating in the chat group this past week, you know, this is exactly what they are going to be looking for over here to you all's chat group. We have a couple of chat groups there. You all, most of you all are in the new chat group right here. Okay. This is the new chat group, the one that you all, the new people. Where you all were, you know, the conversations were in this new chat group, as y'all can see here, and you all was talking about these, you know, dedicated freights, and when you all were sharing information on who needs what, hot shots, and you all was putting up your conversations with shippers and with the brokers and things like this and that. I mean, this is this is what those people are going to be looking for. They're going to be looking for networks that operate like this. And look, how many other freight broker training platforms have this type of network? Can you even think of it? That's even close.
Your nemesis supposedly has one.
Okay. And who's
supposedly. That? Though there's someone who the one that always badmouths you. He has a program, a network too. I don't know how many people are in it.
Yeah, he started it up after we started ours, and he tried to. I'm not even gonna get into it. I mean, if you like that network, my answer is go do it. You know, and that's what I tell people. So I try not to dissuade people from using anybody else's network. All I tell you is just compare the two, and you tell me which one you think you want to be a part of. But you know, just know that I know how he got his network started. He got it from what we were doing, and actually tried to take the entire name until we started doing some legal stuff and it's the name of it. But it is what it is. Okay. You know, but I don't knock anybody, because look, what's the best form of flattery? What's the best form of flattery? Imitation is the best form of flattery. When people start trying to emulate what you're doing, that's because they see you're doing something great, and they see that what you're doing is worthwhile, and they see it. Oh, I like that. Let me see if I can do that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that as a form of flattery. I'm flattered that other people would try and copy what we do. So by all means, and I hope he's successful. You know, because by the time he gets to the point where he is successful with that, we moved on to something else. So, you know, that's just how you have to think in this industry. Okay. See, we do have a lot of fun within this network when we're talking about, you know, making money and finding and booking freight. So, but that to me is the best form of flattery. I don't really try to concentrate too much on that type of stuff. Like you all hardly ever see me on social media, posting anything about. Matter of fact, you never see me posting anything negative about another platform. If I got anything negative to say, I don't mention other platforms. I don't mention the name. I don't mention the group. I just don't. But I don't see the point. I'm too busy trying to make this platform the best that it can be. Okay? The way I see it, if anybody's got time to talk negatively about another platform, then they're not putting time into their own platform. Okay? And I would advise you all to do the same. Don't worry about what people say about you. Take that as fuel, fire, put into your own platform. Build, keep building, keep building, keep improving, keep improving, keep improving. All right? But there's not very many platforms out there that operates in this manner. Okay? And the powers that be, they recognize that, and that's why you all are starting to get these people to reach out to you with all these dedicated freight lanes and things, because they need more trucks now. They're going to need those connections. So this is only going to get better. All right. Now, very quickly, let's jump to the back office. Let's jump to another subject. Jump to the back office here. For those of you who are part of our network, you can go to mydispatcher.org and go to the little button over here. Over drop, I click on Dispatcher 2 resources, and it will pull up the back office. All right. We've got a lot of new people. A lot of new people have joined. They joined and they've been asking questions about, just stuff that they should be knowing from watching the orientation video. Okay, so I'm going to emphasize it. If you are new and if you have not finished watching the orientation video, the first thing you should do is when you get in the back office, and I'm going to take this video and place it at the top because people are missing it. If you scroll down to the bottom, it says start with this video. I need to move it up to the top of this page because people are not scrolling all the way down and they're not seeing. Now, what does this video talk about? I got to turn down enough so it doesn't store it. For some reason, my connection between my television and is not coming through pretty good. I thought I had that problem solved. Let me do this real quick. My casting.
Can I say something about the videos?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to say that for all the people that tell me that I be helping them out and I be giving them good advice, I just want y'all to know that I only got everything from the videos. Everything I say is something that Calvin said. So if you watch the videos, you will know everything that you need to know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all didn't pay the money that I paid, but I pay a lot of money for them videos, so I watch every single video.
Look, you're exactly right. And I've kind of slacked off on getting on people about that. Look, I understand that this is a networking site, but what's my old saying that I used to say it a lot, and I haven't said it lately, okay? Never make someone else responsible for your success. And always take responsibility for your own success. Right? Now, what do we mean by that? All right. Everyone who is in this platform, they have access to the same tools, resources, training, consulting, and support. You do. Okay. So this is a networking site, so I want you all to talk to each other and to help each other out. But what I don't want is for you all to make someone else responsible for your success. Okay? Don't always look to take that shortcut. Well, Deja knows. Let me go ask Deja. and I apologize, Deja, because they stopped calling me for little stuff like that because I started telling them, because people call me and say, and don't get me wrong, if it's something that I know they really, really, really need help with, and I may not have covered it, I would go ahead and go over it with them. But when someone calls me up on the phone without setting a private consultation or whatever the case may be, and they start going into how do I find the dispatch agreement? How do I do this? What do I send over to the carrier? Hey, you know what I tell them? Go watch the video. I do. I do. Go watch the video.
I was just saying that because not that I have a problem with people asking me questions. I just want people to know that all the information that they need is really in the videos. Exactly. And I can say that because I have watched almost every video that I possibly can. So I'm just saying it from experience. If you watch the videos, the information is definitely in the videos.
So for those of y'all who think that she is just that much more knowledgeable, she is, because she's taking the time to invest in her knowledge base. That's why we put all these videos out. We got over 290 videos, y'all. More than 290 videos.
Right, and they free.
and they free. Exactly.
So it's really no reason not to watch the videos.
I mean, look, we give away, literally, we give away more valuable insight into this industry than every other training platform put together. All of them put together charges you for.
Thanks.
I watch that movie. The Golden Child. Yeah, I remember the Golden Child when he said, when he telling him to go back and pray to the thing and ask it for.
I want the knife.
Yeah.
I want the knife.
I want the knife. Okay, look, we give away all the videos. So, but yeah, look. I'm a firm believer that in order to, to be successful in this industry, you got to have knowledge about how the industry works, have knowledge about how to do things, and how to make money within this industry. And every video that we do is all about giving you that direct knowledge. We don't do videos on rules, regulations, terms. Come on, you can go to Google it. You can. I mean, you really can. But we try to give you the intangibles, right? So if you want to know where to find certain things, that it's in your video. It's in the very first video you were supposed to watch. It's the orientation video. It's right there. So when people call me up and they're telling me, well, I can't, how do I find this? That tells me one thing: you're not following the instructions. That's the first thing I'm hearing. So when you're calling me up and you're asking me, how do I find the dispatch agreement? What do I put in the dispatch agreement? How do I do this? Where do I find this? How do I do the invoice? How do I, what do I say to the broker after I got this money? What do I do? And I'm sitting there thinking the whole time while you're telling me that, my mind is going, I ain't found a doggone thing that I said over to you. You just,
right,
played and jumped in and just didn't follow any steps, didn't follow any instructions, don't follow procedures, don't do this and that. There's a reason.
But why would you pay all that money and you didn't even watch the videos? I don't understand.
Look, I know exactly where you're coming from.
I didn't make one phone call until after I started watching them. I watched the videos for about a month before I even made my first phone call.
Yeah, but look. There's a reason why when you first join our platform, you have to go through so much just to get into your back office and to get set up with the check. Because y'all notice that we send y'all through a series of instructions and tasks that you have to perform before you can even get into your back office, right? And there's a reason for that. That is by design. It's not because we just want to give it. No, it's by design. Because this industry is set up that way. There are certain steps you have to follow each and every time you go through the process of doing what? Contacting the carrier, hitting them with the pitch. After you do that, you got to do something else, right? in a certain specific way. After you do that, you got to go to the logos and find loads, special loads in a certain specific way. After you find the load, you got to present it back to the carrier in a certain specific way. After you do that, you got to do something else very specific. You got to call back the broker and the certain specific things you got to do in order to get them to send the carrier what? The broker packet. Or they got to check certain things before they can allow that carrier to do what? Carry that load and approve that carrier for that load. Then they got to send what? Something over to them, like what? The confirmation rate sheet that has to be read completely and signed, and in a specific way has to be sent back to that broker. Then the broker, then it turns out that what? That load is now dispatched. But in order for you to get to all of that, you have to do things in a certain specific way. And this is why our platform is set up in the very beginning. So when you first come in, it trains you to do things in a certain specific way. I have people that come to the platform and they don't even watch the orientation video. They'll just join up and they say, well, how do I get into my back office? What? Well, where I go to create the username and password? Did you really just ask me that? The very first.
I think that a lot of people do that because, like, I can speak from experience. When I decided that I wanted to start dispatching, I did a lot of research and I came across a lot of different platforms, and a lot of them charge 2 and 3 times more money than you do, and they don't even give the information. So when you see $350, you be like, boom, let me go ahead and buy it right now. And then you just be like, oh, all these load boards on here, how do I get on there? Let me just start calling people, like you just be in a rush.
Yeah,
and I think when you come across, when people
come
across your platform, it's like, oh my goodness, I just won. Like, you know, like, so they just feel like, let me hurry up and do it.
Yeah, it's the kid in the candy store effect.
Yep.
Yep. They come and say, oh my God, they got this, they got this, they got that.
Right.
This,
I got all these low boards. Oh my goodness. Like, oh my God, I got everything I need. Like, yeah.
And then they just want to just,
yep.
But you gotta take a step back, right?
Yep.
And you gotta put in the time to review what you have and learn what you have. Go through it, learn how it operates, learn all this stuff, and just watch the video. And that's what prompted us to create the how-to series. Okay, that's one of the things that prompted us to create the how-to series. So, so one of the very first things that we've done here lately is in the video library, we have created the how-to series, and that should help solve a lot of the problems when it comes to them wanting to know, well, how do I do it? How do I do that? And the very name itself was from people calling it how to this, how to that, how to this, how to. I said, you know what? I need to come up with a series called How To. So that's why we added the whole How To series. Okay. As soon as it pulls up here, I'll show it to you all. Just a second. It gets sticky sometimes. Here we go. But that's one of the reasons why we created the How To series, so that we can show you all step by step how this whole thing works, how to go from one fix and get it all done. I've still got to add all, but this is the How To dispatch series here, and starts off with right here with number 6. But basically, what you do is you just kind of go through the whole thing, and you go all the way down here. This is the first one. Then it just all the way back to number 6. The very first thing is to what? How to locate the owner operators and dispatch training. So if you want to know where to find the owner operators, watch that first How To video. If you want to know what the pitch is and where to find the pitch, how to deliver pitch, watch the part 2 of that How To series, part 2, the pitch. If you want to know how to fill out your dispatch agreement or what's in it, and where to send it and the carrier profile form and how that works and how you need to send that, watch that right there because that's your next step. That's your third step. Your fourth step is you want to know how to do what? Load management. Because after you sent them the agreement form, you got it back, now you got to do what? Go find them freight. This is how you find freight. This is how you know what freight to find for them and how to manage it, okay? How to dispatch part 4, load management and acquisitions. Number 5, how to what? Load confirmations. So after you found the load and they've agreed to the load, and you then want to know where to send the load and how to get it, load, how to get it confirmed. There you go right there to get the rate confirmation from the broker and want to know all that stuff. That's right there. And then after they load up and man it, you want to know how you gonna get paid. Carrier invoicing. How to dispatch training number 6. Last step. You just go back to when you get another. You look for to do another load for another carrier. Go back to part 1 again. Because these are the steps. But when you finish, you just go back and you just redo it all over again. Right? So our training video back office area for all of the training videos. We got a lot of videos, y'all. Videos.
Listening to my lesson and painting my nails.
And the best way to learn something is just to go through, watch the videos, learn it, and then start practicing it yourself, practice in the mirror, practice on your computer, practice with a friend, whatever the case may be. And if you still need some personal attention, schedule a private consultation. Now, lately, I've been trying to work out some kinks with the private consultation site. I am going to be looking for, I need to bring on more consultants, okay? We need to bring on more consultants to help do private consultation because I get overbooked. And we have so many people calling up or going through our link and scheduling consultation. We have a lot of people who are not even members of our platform that schedule a lot of private consultations. Lately, we've been getting a lot of owner operators, truck drivers that have been calling up doing private consultation. And I just get overbooked. The site sometimes will overbook you. I had to cancel a private consultation with the gentleman this week because they got overbooked. He had to reschedule for this coming Monday. So just bear with me on that. I'm going to be reaching out to people and seeing if they want to become consultants. Basically, all of the private consultation consultant is we will add you to our private consultation back office area. You quickly you see our private consultations. Here's what happens now when someone wants to do a private consultation. They come on here and they say private consultation is just services. With the RBBS Logistics Learning Center. Come here, then they click right here, and it will take them over to the consultation booking site. Now, as you all can see here, there's only one consultant back there so far, and that's me. Okay. Now, what would happen is when we add more consultants, you all will be able to go through here, or potential people who are looking for consults will be able to go through it and pick which consultant that they want to work with. When you click on that consultant, it will come up. All right. Remember that open mic thing? All right. Y'all, someone's got the mic open and you got stuff going on. Just be mindful of that. But what's gonna happen is when you come on here and you click on one of the consultants, it's going to give you a preview of what they are experts at. Okay, that's what it's going to do. Your expertise is on the process. It's going to tell them this person is an expert in the steps of booking freight. Okay, Mr. Bush, check your mic. I just muted you because you got a lot of stuff going on. So if you're going to have a lot of stuff going on, please mute your mic. But I've already given that. But just remember, anyway, when you click on one of the consultants, it's going to tell you what they are, what their expertise is. Their expertise is on signing trucks onto your authority. If their expertise is on the booking process or load management, or whatever the case may be. They were listed right there what they are, what they are very knowledgeable in. And then you, in turn, the person who is in the consultation, click on the one that fits your subject, and you would schedule that private consultation. Now, how does this work out for the person? If you are doing a private consultation, we will pay you you will get 75% of the consultation. So if it's $100 per hour for a non-member, you'll get $75 per hour. We will get $25 per hour. Okay, if it's a $50 consultation, and you get what 40. What's 75% of 50? 100% of 50 is 100. Half of that is what, 25. So that means you're gonna get what?
35.
About $35 per hour for the member consultation. And for the half-hour consultation, we normally charge a $25 fee, so you're gonna get per hour, something like that. Something of that nature. Okay, so that's the members, and for the non-members. So anyway, consultants will get 75% of their consultation fees. Okay, and that's how it will work. All right. So we here in the near future, it's going to be a lot of opportunities that are going to be opening up within our platform, because we have grown. We are still growing. Right now, if you check out our YouTube channel, we're averaging about a little over 200. I think we're averaging a little over 200. Over 200 new subscriptions every 28 days, if I'm not mistaken. Every 28 days, we're averaging about a little over 200 new subscribers every 28 days. Check about us. How do we do that? I gotta get to the studio. But all right, yeah, here it is right here. Right now, we're at 4,666 current subscribers, and 242 in the last 28 days. That's been about the average. And it's steadily going up, because I think last month when I checked that, it was like 119 every 28 days. And the month before that was like 198, 100 and something. So it's every 28 days, we're jumping up in our subscribers. So in our YouTube enrollment ratio, which means the number of people who join our YouTube channel, we have about 30% of those are joining, or they're about 30% of our YouTube subscribers are enrolling into our platform. So if you look at about 30% or 32, that 35% of that 202, you're looking at about, on our enrollment side, it tells you how fast we are growing. It's a calculator. There it is. All right, out of that 242, about 30%. That's about 72 enrollees every 28 days. Okay, and that's huge. That's huge. So that's about 72 to 75 new enrollees every month. Okay, so that's how we're growing. Okay, but there's a direct correlation between our YouTube subscribers and our memberships who actually come on and become subscription paying members. Because let's face it, the videos is what you live on. You look at it and look at it and say, I want to join. And how do we know this? We know this by by the direct comments we get on YouTube. People come to our YouTube channel and they leave a comment, you know, on a video, and next thing you know, they'll say, "Hey, you know, I'm signing up soon," or "I want to sign up really, really soon." If you look at some of our videos, and you go up here and you look at our comments, as you can see here, a lot of people say, "I will," like this guy says here, I would like to take a chance. This was just one day ago, and I think he already signed up. A whole bunch of people here. We're looking at what we do in all the comments, and you know, like 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 7 are saying, "Hey, I want to sign up. Hey, I want to sign up. Hey, I want to sign up. How do I sign up? Where do I go to sign up? You know, let's become a member soon." So our YouTube channel is really fueling that. So now this brings up another subject too. Now that we're on to the videos and stuff like that, branding. Okay, how many of you are actively branding yourself right now? Or how many of you have a website?
That's what I'm working on. I finished my website yesterday, and all I gotta do is attach my domain.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's take it.
I was branding myself really good until they put me in Facebook jail.
Yeah, look, I talked about that a while back. Facebook jail. I'm an expert at breaking out of Facebook jail. I've escaped Facebook jail so many times because I got put in Facebook jail so many times. Here's the key to the Facebook jail thing. If you create something on Facebook and you share it from Facebook, try to keep your posts. If you share to 10 different groups, break it up to every other hour. Okay? Don't, because if you share on Facebook, like share, all of a sudden you can't share them more. And they put you in jail for what? For 7 days. The next time is for 20 some days. The next time is for a month. so they have so that's one thing about the Facebook thing. You can't share, you know, all the time, just consistently like that all the time. What you have to do is you have to break it up. And you have to share different stuff. You can't share the same thing over and 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 over again. You could probably get away with sharing the same post maybe 5 to 7 times within that hour. But then you gotta wait an hour, and then the next hour you can start sharing it again. You understand what I'm saying? So give yourself an hour in between before you're sharing the same post. Now, if you're sharing different posts, you can share probably up to 12 if you're mixing it up. So the best thing to do is have about 3 or 4 posts that's all kind of leading to the same thing, you know, but break it up in the way it's worded, the pictures you're using, the imagery, and the videos you're using. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a strategy to sharing on Facebook without paying for it. Because what Facebook ultimately wants you to do is they want you to buy advertising time. Okay?
You think that's worth it, right?
It is if you want to spend the money. I don't do it because I have an obligation to show you all how to work this platform and how to work your business without spending money, right?
Right.
So I try to lead by example and not spend money on advertising. But in the early beginning of what I was doing, I did spend money and I reached a ton of people outside of my network. So, but here's the thing though, be very mindful because Facebook wants you to put that on a reoccurring thing, but they just automatically charge you your credit card.
Okay.
Okay, so just be very careful with that and really establish a budget of how much you want to share, because they'll put you on a budget. Like if you want to, like, you're doing $25, and like you're only gonna reach a certain market share of Facebook. Because Facebook has more than 2 billion users worldwide. At any given time, there's 1 billion people on Facebook. That's a lot of people, y'all. billion with a B. Okay? At any given time, there's 1 billion plus people on Facebook. I don't care what time you go on Facebook at 4 a.m. in the morning, there's over 1 billion people on Facebook. Okay? So it's a huge market share. Right? So if you want to get outside of your network, and another thing about Facebook is build your network, right? When you are befriending people on Facebook, because you all would notice, I have a lot of chat groups on Facebook. I'm maxed out on my friends listing. Okay, I am completely maxed out. If you look, I got people, and I know there's a lot of you who send me stuff and want to be friends, and I'm not ignoring you. I just don't have the room for you. I'm just being honest. I just don't have the room. Right now, I think I'm at 4,900. Yeah, I got space for about another 96 people. And I try to leave a space for at least 50 to 100 spaces. I try to leave, available in case I see someone, I see something that I really want to connect with. I can have room to add them without blocking somebody. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm about at the max of where I normally like to be at as far as my connections. Now, here's the thing. I don't just befriend everybody on Facebook. No, I'm very selective with this Facebook profile with who I befriend. I have this profile and I have this profile. Okay? Notice there are 2 different profiles. I have this one and I have the other one. I don't, and here's another thing. Don't ever cross your profiles on the same browser with Facebook. I'm giving y'all some tips here now, okay? Don't, because Facebook don't like you to have more than 1 profile. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah. I tried it, they deleted it.
Yeah, and what some people do is they will pull up the same profile in the same browser. Don't do that. That's how they get on to you about the same profile, all right? This profile here, I never use it on Firefox. The other profile, I never use it on Internet Explorer, all right?
Okay.
And I don't use either one of my profiles on Google Chrome. So get all 3 browsers, Internet Explorer, Firefox, and Chrome, okay? And use your different profiles on the different ones, okay? But don't ever cross them or anything like that, because when you save your passwords and this and that, then that's how they know that you're using the same one. You got different profiles, okay? And I'm not hiding the fact that it's the same person, Calvin Butler, right? All right, so I've actually got 3 profiles. I've got this one, the other one, and one I use on Google Chrome is Calvin Butler, but I only got about 15, 20 friends on that one. That's just for family members and that I actually shake hands with. So you see what I'm saying? But these 2 profiles are my business profiles. Because if you look at the previous one, if you look at this one right here, it tells you, that this one is what? Calvin Butler, RBBS training. So this has a lot of business connects in it, which means the people that I befriend, they have some connection with what? Trucking or real estate finance or parts business, some type of connection to the type of businesses that I run. They are either people who are in the same line of work or in the same industry. And you notice the groups that I join, they're all related to logistics or something within the area of where I like to do business with. And the reason why that is, you look at freight brokers, social media load board, RBBS Logistics Learning Center. There's some parts business. There's my real estate stuff, Bahamir, the oceanfront thing that we got going on. That's my wife's business. But all these groups and stuff that I'm members of, they all have something to do with the industry. The people who I befriend, the people who have something to do with the industry, or they're somehow business people. They do a lot of business stuff. Okay, and those are the type of people I want to be associated with, because I don't like getting a lot of crazy mess on Facebook. A lot of people will say to me, "Well, I don't do Facebook. I don't do Facebook. I don't do Facebook. Why not?" All they talk about is gossip and mess and people showing the butt. This and that. Well, that's because what you see on Facebook is what you created. And I would say, well, what do you mean? Well, if you got mess on Facebook, it's because you like messy people, right? Because those are the people you befriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you know Carolyn is a THOT, what you think you're gonna get when you add that person to your Facebook page? When you befriend that person, everything you get from them is gonna be THOT. If you know that such and such is, just all he do is spread rumors and talk about people and want to look at people fighting in the streets, what do you think you're gonna get when you add them to your Facebook page? You're gonna get gossip and rumors and people fighting in the streets, right? But if you befriend someone that you know is if you befriend someone who you know is in business, like this person right here, like y'all didn't know who Freddie Figures is, do you? I didn't know who Freddie Figures is.
Not me.
He's a friend of mine, and he grew up in Quincy, Florida, my hometown. And this cat used to run around with my little sister, part of her little crew and everything. And I've known him all my life. But did you also know that he is the only African-American wireless communications firm owner that owns his own towers?
That's big.
Only one. There are only about 5 communication firms that owns their own towers. Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile. What's the other one? Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile,
AT&T.
AT&T, and then biggest communication.
I heard you mention him before. I'm remembering.
But I tell you, this cat is doing big things. He was the first to develop a phone that was connected to the first to learn diabetes and things like this. Because this cat was 9 years old. Now, first of all, let me give y'all the background on this guy. At 3 weeks old, people who adopted him found him in a garbage can in Quincy, Florida. Whoever his parents were, they just dumped him. Didn't want it.
So this that guy that's on Facebook. They got they got stories and memes around about him, man.
This is him. He was left in a trash can. He was 3 weeks old. And the lady found him, and they're from Quincy. They kept him, they raised him, then they officially adopted him. All right. This cat at 9 years old, his grandfather had dementia. This cat at 9 years old developed a tracking system that he put in his grandfather's shoes, embedded into the soles of his shoes. This cat literally built a computer so that when his grandfather goes out and gets lost, he put a GPS tracking in, so he goes a certain distance from the house, it alerts the computer, and the computer will send out a thing to his doctors and everyone else, let them know that he is lost and away from his home.
Some boy got a natural given talent.
Which led him later on to go ahead and develop the first monitoring system that goes with your Android phone for people with diabetes. I have it because I'm a diabetic. Yes, I have it. I'm a diabetic. And his phones is called the F1s, F2s, the Figures phones. He is Figures Communications.
Brilliant.
Figures Wireless or Figures communication. If you do a thing with him through what's the thing where you tell where everybody is? The
Wikipedia.
Yeah, if you Wikipedia him, you'll be amazed. This guy, man. This guy. I mean, his net worth now is about close to almost $100 million. He is probably this guy is incredible. Here he's right here. Freddie Figures has a net worth of $62 million. Born and raised in little old Gaston County, small town, Quincy, Florida. I'm proud to call him my friend and call him my mentor. Okay, I grew up with this guy. Now, a lot of y'all are trying to say, well, no wonder you where you is, Cal. Because I'm chasing greatness. You know, I am literally chasing greatness. This guy is, you know, when it comes to, he's younger than me, but he is my mentor. He is my business hero. Because he does so much. And he does it, you know, to be an African American and own his own cell phone towers. Now, that's huge. In case you all don't know, that's huge. Like I said, there are only 5 companies that own their own towers. Everyone else bites off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Boost Mobile, they don't own their own towers. They bite off of Sprint. Okay, all these straight talk and all that stuff. They bite off of who? AT&T. What's the other one?
Cricket.
Mobile. All those other ones, they bite off of what?
Metro.
Metro. All them, they bite off of T-Mobile.
Yep.
They're using someone else's towers. They're paying them to use their towers. This guy owns his own towers. He don't pay anybody a jack squat.
That's big, boy.
Okay, his line of phones. My wife and I, we switched over to all his lines of phones. They're called the F1s through the F3s.
That's his line of phone?
This is his website right here, figures.com. I'll share it with you. But these are the type of people you want to surround yourself with. Now, I know he has nothing to do with the trucking industry, but he and I talk often, and we talk about different ideas and things. We bounce ideas off each other because this type of person, they will stimulate your creative process. And that's what.
So y'all bouncing off each other.
Exactly. And that's what. That's when you got someone like that that you can bounce ideas off of, and they can give you input. When I was trying to think of a way to impact this industry, and I reached out to him and we talked about stuff, something he said gave me the idea to start a network instead of just having another class. Now, I can't.
A sharply hustler skill.
Yeah, because I can't go and put my finger on exactly what he said, but just having someone like that you can talk to and converse with. Now, here's what I like about this guy. This guy travels all over the world. He's got a private jet and all that, so he flies on private jets. He's always one place or another. President Obama had him to come down and talk to him about how to create opportunities in the African American communities. He's flown to England, had meetings with the Queen of England, had meetings with prime ministers. This guy was, but I can call him up And they'll say, who's that? I said, yeah, this is Calvin. Oh, well, Calvin, we have to call you back. And sure enough, he calls me back. Whenever he comes to town, you know, I call him up, whatever, and say, you know, hey, what's going on? And we'll get on the phone and talk. And, you know, he is so down to earth. He literally has never forgotten where he came from.
Shit, that man came from a trash can. You can't forget that.
Exactly. So if you want to know what inspired me to go from homeless to where I am right now, a man who was born and got left in a trash can is who inspired me to go from homeless to where I am right now. And what did I always say? I thought I had it bad because I didn't have any shoes until a man that didn't have no feet.
Mm.
Okay. So if you're looking to build your network of people who you want within you, look for people who inspire you. Look for people who are doing not just talking positive, actually doing positive things. But I guarantee you, if you surround yourself with people like that, if you surround yourself with those types of influences, you won't have a choice but to be successful because you're always going to be chasing greatness. They always chase greatness. And, you know, I do whatever I can to support what he's doing. I put his stuff out all the time. I talk about him all the time. I spread his stuff. My wife and I are going to be, you know, we're going to be spending money on his products. Why? Because these are the people that I want to support. This is the type of person that I want to support. This is his newest product that came out. A lot of the stuff that Apple has in their phone, this guy came out with it first, believe it or not. Crazy, right? But Apple gets all the media, you know. This guy came out with it first. This guy was doing stuff at 9, 10, 12 years old. Steve Jobs didn't do it until he became a grown man. Biggest buzz, speakers, smart TV, biggest health glucose. Look at the products this guy comes up with. And this is not stuff that he outsourced. This is stuff that he designed.
Oh, he designing all that stuff?
Y'all see what I'm talking about? This is,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's tough.
I mean, this is this guy is on the cutting edge of all types of stuff. And you all start seeing him too. He's from all the radio talk shows, Tom Joyner, Steve Harvey.
I ain't never heard about him. This is my first time hearing about him.
I know, because mainstream media, and y'all know why, right?
You know what it is.
Y'all know why, right? I mean, you got a lot of, when you look him up on YouTube and stuff, you got a lot of, you know, critics who come and say, well, who has a name like Figures Wireless? It sounds like a joke, sounds like F with the N replaced by it. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of that. You know, people sometimes say, oh, this is not a real company. Look at the name. Yeah, this guy's a real company. Not only is it a real company, he's a real person. And I know this person. But you got a lot of people on the other supporting side who try to discredit what he does and try to downplay what he does. And
right. Hater.
But you know, hey, but
as always.
Exactly. But guess what? You can't keep the most talented, most gifted people, most intelligent people on the face of the planet. You can't keep them down. You can't. You literally can't. Now, I don't mean to get off subject, or whatever the case may be, but we have been responsible for some of the greatest advancements to mankind that the world
No,
has
you
ever
doing
seen.
right. That's inspirational right there. You doing right.
You know, that the world has ever seen. And when people start trying to discount people, or trying to, I don't care who you are, what color you are, whatever the case may be, if you're good at what you do, man, you got my applause. And this guy right here, man, I mean, he started out literally in a trash can. Literally started out in a dump, in a trash can. Okay, and now doing, you know, literally great things. So if nobody else is bumping this guy, I'm always bumping this guy. Okay, always.
Y'all on this page now, checking this stuff out.
And, I mean, this guy's got figure speakers, figures, F buzz, the F speakers, smart TV. The next generation, you know, changing our solutions, and just. But I want to let y'all know about this guy because, you know, people just don't know who he. I mean, they really, you know, are missing the boat when they don't know who this guy is. I mean, you hear more about Boost Mobile than you hear about this guy. And Boost Mobile don't even own.
Yeah.
Boost Mobile don't own squat.
I've been telling my sister to get rid of Boost Mobile.
Yeah, and they don't own squat. Straight talk, they don't own nothing.
Cricket.
They use somebody else's stuff. This guy, you know, literally owns his own towers, his own devices. He came up with them. He created them. Look at that. The super smart TV.
Got it, a super smart TV.
Now, this just came back. I remember he and I talked about this one time, about 2-3 years ago. And I was trying to come up with a way. I was thinking about coming up with a way, and we was talking about it, and we was trying to see how it could be feasible, where we could start our own internet. Where instead of having, and the idea was,
I'm about to say, what you mean?
And instead of having you know, browsers and all these different equipment, the idea that I was bouncing around was, how could you have a piece of technology, a television set, computer, or whatever, and instead of having people to pay for internet access, your browser, your television set, you buy the computer, and the computer has the internet already on it. But now a lot of you probably say, yeah, but how are you gonna fund that? Well, you fund it if you've got a device that has the internet free on it, right? And then on that device, instead of using Internet Explorer or Google, or you have your own browser, right? Y'all follow me?
Yeah, I follow you, but you better make
from the
some
browser.
patent shit.
Yeah, so if you got your own browser and you got your own device, then if you're selling this device to a whole bunch of people, you're making money just by selling the device, right?
Right.
Then where are you gonna make your residual money at? Well, as you sell the device, and you tell people, well, you buy this computer and your internet is free. High-speed internet is free. You buy this TV set, all your smart TV channels and the internet for them, that's all free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, does that have an appeal to advertisers?
There you go.
That's where your money comes from. Because if you get billions of people buying your device, because the internet is free, no more paying, you know, Cox cable, Comcast cable, whatever this is that. You know, but you got to have your own tower. That's why I reached out to there's some tower. And
like
we've
the
been kind of
Facebook
going back and
concept.
forth. We're still trying to find a way to make it feasible. We've been going back and forth, back and forth. You got your own towers and this and that, but the thing you got to have, really, you got to have your own satellites, right? That's what you really got to have. Or buy time on someone else's satellite, right? Now that's where it gets real expensive. That's where it gets real expensive. So for the first few years, you're going to be operating at a deficit until you get what? The number of people who have bought this product, it goes up and up and up, and it catches fire, and everyone's owning your product because they bought it for what? The free internet. You got all these people getting free internet, free cable channels on your thing, right? That's a large share of people. You know, who comes to you? The advertisers. The Super Bowl wants to broadcast, and you got more than 1 billion people got your device on their network. And the Super Bowl will want to have everything broadcast on your devices.
Exactly. Pay-per-view with the boxing matches. Everybody, they gotta come. They ain't got no choice.
Exactly, they gotta come.
Like YouTube, you gotta do it.
But you gotta have people in the network who you can bounce this stuff off of. They will be able to tell you, well, that's feasible, this can't be done, that can't be done. Well, let's go this around some more. Call me when you come up with with another way to do this, do that. So,
Right.
But yeah, I know y'all thought I was just some old black redneck. That don't do nothing but get on here and talk smack about, whatever. But look. Like anything, man, you gotta be deeper. You gotta be deeper than the wheel that runs within you.
That's true.
Don't ask me where I got that from because I made it up myself. Matter of fact, I just made it up. But you gotta be deeper. Your spring, or where your water comes from, you gotta be deeper than the wheel that runs within you. Okay. So whatever people see on the surface, you understand what I'm saying? Whatever people see on the surface is not a determination of how deep you really are.
Right.
Always try to keep that happening. But anyway, I just wanted to get off and show y'all this. Now, a lot of my critics are gonna say, well, what this got to do with trucking? It got nothing to do with trucking, but it's got to do with what? Expanding your horizons and being an entrepreneur. And what have I always told you? I'm not here just to show you all how to book freight.
Right.
I'm here to show you all how to be logistics entrepreneur. And what I'm trying to get across to you all by showing you all this and this type of example is, in this industry, who you surround yourself with is going to determine or help you to be the person you're trying to become. Okay, so when you talk about social media, you are social media, you'll be making these types of. I surround myself with people like him. I surround myself with people like this gentleman. This gentleman and I went to high school together. We played high school basketball together. We went to college together. We played college ball together. We were roommates in college. He was the best man at my first wedding. And he runs the entire utilities department for the city of Tallahassee. You talk about this city of utilities, this guy is the man. The oldest man. He is also the second in command, or the second in charge of the Finance Club. Y'all know who the Shriners is, right?
Yes,
The
sir.
who?
Y'all know who the Shriners is, right?
Shriners Mason.
That's right.
Mason. Yeah.
There he is, right there. This guy has met with queens, kings, heads of state, presidents of the United States. Whether y'all know it, Shriners and the Masons, they got their hand in just about every power there is. And those of you who know, y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, sir.
Every time you see a picture of this guy, he's always wearing that right there. He's in groups and stuff. But this guy was my best friend growing up. I still go talk to him very often. My wife and I ran into him and his wife at the Walmart the other day. And that's him and his wife. There he is right there. Notice how he's always, anything going on with the Shriners, he's always dead center. Because the Shriners, they have this pyramid type. Those of you, y'all know the symbol, right?
Yes, sir.
And at the top is where the head of the other organization sits. He's always right there. But these are the type of people you want to surround yourself with. These are the type of people you want to be associated with. At the White House. Yes. This is what you want to, you know, I mean, you want to be involved with these types of people and be in the mix, because when decisions get made, they're gonna get made with or without you, right? Right. So you would want to be part of that decision making, or part of the influence in that decision making. Because I like to think that the conversations he and I have had over the years, and growing up and being best friends and roommates and playing on the same college basketball team, the same high school basketball team, and our friendship now, I like to think the things that he does, my conversations have a weighing on his thought process. My situation had a weighing on his thought process. Seeing me go from where I went from to go being homeless to being paying myself back up. Because one of the things when I was homeless, this guy was always there to, help me out. Not through a handout or anything, but through just being there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Someone that I could go and talk to without them feeling pity or looking down on me. So when you think about social media, think about surrounding yourself with, the right type of people.
Yeah, I ain't get on to this morning because I ain't had nothing else going on besides this here.
Yeah. So when you think about branding, and we're talking about branding. Branding is more than just sharing stuff on social media. Branding is surrounding yourself with the right type of people. Okay. The type of companies and people who are going to be your potential clientele, who's going to have some type of influence on your decision making, on your thought process, on your innovative thinking. It is so important. And these are the intangible things that you can't learn, from a course or a class. And I know a lot of my critics are going to say, man, this guy don't know what he's talking about. This guy, he ain't talking about booking no freight. We talk about booking freight all the time, don't we?
Exactly. It's good game.
But it takes more than just that to make you a successful person.
Right.
Right? If that's all it was, everybody would be a great success.
Okay.
But I want you all to open up your mind to possibilities, and in order to do that, you got to become more diverse. You got to have people in your life who are going to support your thinking. Now let's go to the second part, about branding yourself on social media. Every month I have a block party. Every month I have a block party. So I block 100 people off my social media. And I usually go through it and just kind of see who's posting junk and messing, just crazy stuff. And, and they have a consistency of posting just, booty shaking videos, or fight videos, or what is it? Guess what? They get blocked. Bye. I don't care if they're family, I don't care if they're close friends, they get gone. So they're not contributing to what? The positive process, right?
Right.
And then I go back and I look for groups and people who are doing positive things, who are part of the industry, who's always lending constructive advice, about the industry or whatever it is. I look for people who are interested in the industry, and I add them to my friends list. Why? Because they're potential clientele, potential people that I can pull upon to get advice from, potential people that I can see the stuff that they're posting and get some type of insightful inspiration about what I can do next, what I can add to the platform, what I can add to my business. And this is where this is an area that you all need to be in and thrive in. Because this type of stuff has an influence on you. It really does. Okay? So branding is a lot more than just creating your ads and putting them out. And that's a big part of it. But you also want to be able to see, great stuff within your timeline. Right? You want to be able to see great stuff. And this is my timeline, as you all can see. There's very little booty shaking, very little fights. You know what I'm saying? You see positive things within my timeline because I surround myself with positive people who are posting positive things. Okay? So when I'm on social media, this is what I'm exposed to. Why? Because it is the area I built, I created. So if you got a lot of BS on your social media, remember, social media is the hell you create for yourself, or it can be the salvation you create. But it's all put there by you.
Now, I had a LinkedIn account.
Yeah, I have a LinkedIn account too. I love LinkedIn because it's more professional. But LinkedIn they haven't been able to bridge that social connectivity gap. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you probably never gonna do that because they ain't got business on it.
Facebook has done something very unique. They have done something very unique. I gotta give them Mark Zuckerberg.
Boy, it's Jerry Springer.
Yeah, well, not just Jerry Springer, but he has done something very, very unique in having almost no boundaries. There's a fine line between, having no boundaries and having too much control, right? They have just enough control to keep them out of serious trouble. But they relinquish so much control that they allow people to kind of like be themselves, all right? Now, it's up to us, each one of you, each one of us to decide which part of that community we want to be a part of. We want to let within our own lives. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you want to be in that community of just no holds barred and, every man for himself and rumble in the jungle and, shake, this, you can be. It's there on Facebook too, right?
Right.
But also, if you want to be a part of that community that's talking about investments, that's talking about the trucking industry, that's talking about creating your own businesses, that's talking about coming up, that's talking about celebrating your achievements and politics and all that stuff, that's there too. But it's your choice. You invite those people into your network, into your timeline. And no one controls who you invite but you, right?
Right.
So to say that Facebook is full of whatever, no, that's not true. You full of it.
Reflection.
That's the truth. Facebook is not just full of BS and booty shaking and all this. That's what you full of. I'm gonna be honest. You're full of that. Because that's what you like to watch, then guess what? That's who you're going to invite.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So, social media has been the backbone of my business growth. because I keep it within check. Okay. And when I see people who are getting out of check, or when people start, you know, RBBS ain't squat, ain't this and that, you know, hey, you know, old boy Mark has created a very useful tool. I use it very often. Unfriend and block. That's all you gotta do. Then I ain't gotta hear what old boy saying about RBBS. I don't care what you're saying about RBBS because it don't concern me because I'm too busy building RBBS. Because you're not seeing what such and such saying about you. No. I don't care what he's saying about. I'm too busy building my platform. I'm too busy being great. Right? And I don't want to, you know, every time I'm trying to be great, have someone come and go, oh, you ain't squat, you ain't this ain't gonna do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. Unfriend and block. Let me clean that up. You know, so I can get back to doing what? Being great. Okay? So, you know, I challenge all of you to just get back to being great, you know, at what you do. Okay? And in order to be great at what you do, you want to surround yourself with people who are doing great things, you know, along with you. Okay? So that's a little insight into my analogy of branding. And I just wanted to let y'all know about people like who are doing great things. I got a lot of other people on my social media who are in my direct friends network. John A. Williams, another guy, one of my best friends. Also played high school basketball together. College, he went to Oral Roberts. No, he went to Bethune-Cookman University, and he is one of the first African American directors of IBM. He went on to he operates out of Chicago. He is the head of their educational division. He graduated from college, went to work for IBM in their I think sales, executive management positions, and with it, basically you would go out and try to get contracts with IBM. He landed the first major contract in Gaston County, where he signed up all the Gaston County schools with IBM computers. And he went on to do the same thing in other Florida counties, and then in Georgia and all those other places. And pretty soon, IBM noticed his talent. They made him the director of that division in IBM. His name is John Albert Williams, Jr. Okay, another person I grew up with, John A. Williams. He and I went to high school together. We resides in Chicago, Illinois. You know, this cat had the smoothest basketball game I ever seen in my life. He's about 6'5", 6'6", played wing guard or small forward. I played, believe it or not, I was at 6'4", I played power forward. And later on in college, I got moved to wing guard and then point guard. But we had so much talent on our high school team, I had to play power forward because I was just strong. You know, I was just, you know, strong and could box out. But this guy right here, 6'5", 6'6", played wing guard. And Theodis Baker, the other guy I told you, he's like 6'9". He was our center and power forward. He was another power forward and center. Andrew Moulton, a lot of you might know him, about 6'2", 6'3". He was our point guard. High school, went on to the University of Florida, was part of the M&M back in the college days. Him and Vernon Maxwell were voted the best backcourt in the country. He went on to play pros, you know, overseas and things of that nature. But this cat right here had one of the smoothest. He was so smooth when he went up and down the court on the basketball. It looked like he was moving in slow motion. That's how smooth he was. but he was, but yeah, you know, he was doing his thing up there in Chicago with IBM, some of our high school days, like high school. So, you know, but you know, these are the people you want to surround yourself with. You know, these are the people you want to be associated with. These are the influences. Um, Create your social media pages, do your branding, surround yourself with 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 great people, and I promise you do that. I promise you, it's amazing how it works. If you surround yourself with greatness, next thing you know, you look up and like people are looking at you and say, "Man, you doing some great things." You say, "Who, me? Nah, he doing some great things." Well, nah, you doing some great things too. But you don't really see yourself, you know. But because you surround yourself with people you're chasing. Greatness follows greatness, right?
Right.
It really does. Okay, greatness chases other greatness. No, and if you're not chasing greatness, then what the hell you're running for? You know? Matter of fact, those y'all steal that. That's gonna be my next Facebook thing. If you're not chasing greatness, what the hell you're running for? So don't y'all steal that one. I'm gonna post
Hey,
it.
you better start patenting some of this shit.
I'll trade that one for juice, and you use juice.
Yeah. You know, I tell you what, since you gave me juicy, I'll let you have that one too. I'll pay back. I'll pay you back. But I'm gonna post it too. Okay. Just give me a shout out on it. That's all I have. Just tag me in it. But now seriously though, you know, this is all part of how we train, and as you all will see in our what I'm doing right now is I'm giving you all some insight as to how I want you all to approach these brokerage firms when we start up our brokerage efficiency. Bring you all as consultants. You know, we want you all to go in and talk about people like this, stories like this, and people like, you know, Mr. Figures, Mr. Baker, Mr. Williams. We want you all to inspire them, okay, be a better brokerage firm. That's the whole reason why we're switching them over from what the binary system to the tri system, right?
Right.
Because we want to show them how they can give more to their employees and still make more at the same time. You see what I'm saying? And this is the type of attitude, this is the type of mentality while going to these firms that we want you all to exuberate and let them feed off of, you know, what you got going on.
Calvin, speaking of the tri system, right, versus the binary system, I was thinking that could work for a carrier company also, right? You know, yeah, I was thinking that
it really can.
They pretty much do the same thing as a freight brokerage.
Now, for those of you who are looking at this and not knowing what we're talking about, we're talking about the tri system and the binary system. When we were freight brokers back in the day, not too long ago, when we were freight brokers and we came into the industry, that's right. We came into the industry. We introduced something that no other freight brokerage firm was doing at that time, and that was we changed the way we were set up. The branding here. You got it, baby? We changed the way we were set up. Branding. And this video here explains to you how we were set up. And if you all ever get a chance to go look for it on YouTube, or think you want to be afraid, so you want to be afraid, and you're gonna find it on our branding page. See right there. Nicely this time. See if it'll play nicely. My connection to my TV set is not doing what I wanted to do. I don't know why it's not. Hold on. Let me try this. I thought I had fixed this. Apparently, I didn't. Let's try going to YouTube. And then once I'm on YouTube, let's try connecting it there. See if it'll connect there better. Okay. Get it to switch over to my casting here. Hey, take my list. All right. The YouTube plays it. I don't know if y'all can see it back there tonight. Can y'all see the TV set back there? But see, it won't play it. It won't play at the same time like it does on my what I was trying to do. It was working fine earlier this morning, but like always, when you're trying to do something, it always jumps and want to, not operate correctly for some reason. I don't know why, but this morning this was working just fine. Well, I can show it to you all. Y'all can hear it at the same time. Everything was working perfect. Okay. He doesn't want to do it now for some reason. I don't know why it does that. We take the process. Here at RBBS Transport LLC, changing your life. Just one look at our business model. I probably got too many screens open. Probably the reason why. And simplify approach. Quickly growth. As an independent agent partner with RBBS Transport LLC, you will either find customers, I don't know why it just, I don't know, but earlier this morning when I tested it, it was doing just absolutely great. What do you all, you can hear it, whole 9 yards. But now it just wants to just do its own thing. Anyway, that process on the tri-system, right? That's what you was asking about, right?
Right. That's exactly.
Okay. Let's see if I can try to find it. Try a different connection. Try a little different connection. What happens? Maybe it'll play right. If not, I'm gonna try to explain it to you without the video. The video kind of goes into it, takes you exactly how it's done. I mean, video explain it to you. I want to make, hopefully I can working right. It's not going to play right. They're coming. I don't know why. Yeah, it just doesn't want to play right now. For some reason. I don't know why. It doesn't want to play right. Don't ask me why it just doesn't. But all the other thing I can do is to try to do it like this. Try it this way. So I don't go back. Area and deliver the free. That's it. All right. And we can get it wrong. After all, and as an industry, it's a playing it. I'm not playing here, but it's playing somewhere. Too many steps. Trying to figure out where it's playing at. So much to do and not enough time to do. That means you go for it. You hate the process. Where's it playing at? It's playing somewhere, but it's playing independently. Where it. All right, now let's try this. I see what it just, hold on. I see what it's doing. Let me do it this way. Broken process. Don't get it wrong. Okay, now can y'all hear this? And as an industry, the opportunities are plenty.
I can.
The money's good. And it sucks. Too many steps. There we go. Way too much paper. So much. I got it caught up now. Not enough time to do it. Did I get you? Broken break. We take the process. At RBBS Transport LLC, we're changing the process. Just one look at our business model, and you'll understand the difference. Our applied technology, process, and simplified approach to freight broker. As an independent agent partner with RBBS Transport LLC, you will either find customers to supply with freight or find carriers to pick up and deliver the freight. That's it. And we handle everything in between. Customer onboarding, verification, populating, and processing loads, carrier setup, rate and load confirmations, insurance and inspection verifications, dispatching your load, 24-hour round-the-clock tracking, factoring, processing, and full TMS management. And again, all you do is either find customers, freight, or find carriers. Utilizing the simplified brokering process, our agents can make more money. Book with the right technology. We serve as their administrative operations logistics department, allowing them more time to focus on marketing and booking freight. Let's take a moment to talk about commission and review. No, this is not a mystery. RBBS Transport LLC pays as well as commission. Our account acquisition executives are compensated 7.25% of revenue from our brokerage fees on all those booked from their accounts by our freight agents. Example, executive lands an account that has 100 loads per day. RBBS load forward and carriers in our network. Our goal is to book 25% of those loads daily. That's 25 loads a day. Average load fee, $2,000. Fee is 10%. That's $200. That yields 125 loads booked weekly from that account at an average brokerage fee of $200 per load. Revenue is $25,000. The agent or account executive who manages the account 7.25% of that account's gross revenue every week for as long as the account and the agent is active. In case you're wondering, in that scenario, the account executive weekly residual from that one account was $1,812 and would adjust to the account's percentage of loads booked each week. Our agents are guaranteed 50 to 100 loads daily to arrange book. Freight agents are compensated 50% of our book on all loads booked directly through the freight agent. The new carrier's DOT number is attached to the booking agent's account or sub-carrier group. Whether that DOT number has 1 power unit or 100 power units, the agent attached to it will be compensated 50% of the broker's fee for every load booked personally by that. These are labeled direct bookings. Agent is also compensated 25% of our broker's fee on all loads indirectly booked by the agent sub-carrier group. These are labeled residual. In a scenario where an agent books a load for another agent's sub-carrier group, both agents are compensated 12.5% of RBBS Transport's LLC brokerage fee. Look, we realize that our business model is completely different from the industry's norm. It is our belief that true independence, residual income, and a simplified approach to brokering is why both experienced logistic professionals and newcomers to the industry should consider RBBS Transport LLC as a career option. The design of our approach to freight brokerage is based on simplicity, but the goal of this approach is to allow our independent agents to spend less time on clerical administrative tasks and more time focusing on finding and booking freight. RBBS Transport LLC, simply empowering. All right. As you all can see, let me go back here if I can find it. All right. All right. All right. I see this right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is the tri system that we're talking about. Now, this is the type of business structure that you're going to be talking to these young brokers and these young brokerage firms or that contract us coming into the brokerage firm and put them on the right path. This is what you're going to set them up as. Take them from a binary system. The binary system basically is, you have a freight brokerage firm, you have a freight broker, right? Then you have a freight broker agent, right? Mm-hmm. That's called a binary system. That's the way just about every freight brokerage firm in the country works right now. That's fine if you are a large brokerage firm, because then you can support that type of system. But what happens is these independent, smaller firms, they come into play. You know, just the person who's going out in the freight brokerage bond and their insurance and stuff, and they want to start their own brokerage firm, right? They come in and they want to emulate the binary system because that's all they know, right? But little do they know that the binary system, all you're doing is you're training your own competition. So your firm is doomed to fail, especially within the first year. Why? Because you're not going to be able to gain the support of shippers your first year, right?
Right.
So you're training these people who you're bringing in to literally be what? Your competition. Because you don't have enough support from the shippers to properly compensate them. Even though you may be paying them 70%, right? I'm sorry, you may be paying them, 40% or 50% or 60% or whatever you're paying them. But because you're on the binary system, you can't support those. You can't support them and you can't support yourself. Because that system is designed for those very, very large firms that have what? Money. This is why it's very important your first year if you're coming in as a brokerage firm, you gotta have access to at least $250,000 to $260,000. Because a lot of these shippers or these major firms, they want you to do what? Prepay for a portion of the loads that they're contracting you with. Okay? Those of you who are brokers, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who are brokers who have been trying to work with shippers, and a shipper says to you, well, how long have you been in business? Do you have any references? Do you have this, and that? You say no, then what's and say, okay, well, yeah, we'll work with you. If they decide to work with you, yeah, we'll work with you. But you gotta prepay for about 30% of the loads that we're contracting you. Well, how much is that gonna cost? Well, let's say if we start y'all with a small account of 2,500 loads, right? So if let's say we start y'all with a small account of 2,500 loads, what's the calculator? Let's say if they decide to start you off with a small account of 2,500 loads. I'm gonna calculate, pull up here. There it is. Start y'all with a small account of just 2,500 loads. And then normally you get 2,500, 10,000 loads a day. But let's say they give me a shot. Let's start out with 2,500 loads per week. Let's say that the average loads in that 2,500 loads, let's say that they average out to be what are those? Let's say the load fees average out to be let's say they're $2.25 per mile, right? Oh, 2,500 loads, and say the average mileage on each load. Let's say they start you off with not very long running loads, not very short loads, it's paying a high count on cents per mile. Let's say they start you out with 600-mile run loads. Okay, so 600 miles on average times 2.5. What they're gonna be paying you, right? So that's $1,350, per load is what you gotta pay them, right? Now, what's 30% of 2,500? Okay, that's your next question, right? So 2,500 minus that 30%. That's 750 loads, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want you to prepay for 750 loads. So that's 750 times 13 of 25. You got that kind of money?
Damn.
Damn, exactly. So you say to them, I don't have that kind of money, right? But if you got yourself about $220,000, $300,000 somewhere in reserve, that's why I tell you, you gotta have at least that much money. So if you got that kind of money in reserves, and then they say to you, well, I can't come up with that, but maybe I can do 10%. The load. Well, if you can only pay 10%, if you only prepay 10% of the loads, then you have to put you back from 2,500 down to 250 loads. Right? So they cut you back to 250 loads per week because you can't afford what they think is average. Because these are people that got billions of dollars on with the freight. now you all are starting to see why only the mega firms, why this industry is built to support those mega brokerage firms, C.H. Robinson, PRW, T.Real, Landstar. Why? Because they got the money, they got the background, they got the clout. Right? So then negotiators goes from that. So, well, if that's the case, we should, let's start you off with a subpar loads, 250 loads, right? And you pay for 30% of those, it's 75 loads, right? So you're gonna prepay for 75 loads, right? Let's say those 75 loads. Let's say that 75 loads. There you go, 99,000. Which you can do if you got what? 250,000, right?
Right.
That's why I say, in order for you to make it as a first year broker firm, you gotta have at least 250 to $260,000 in reserve. Because they're going to give you them 250 loads if you can pay 30% of it. Now you can up that a little bit. So, well, our budget can stand a little bit more than that, right? Because you got 250,000. So let's say, how about 500 loads? Then you're looking at about $200,000 on your prepay, right? Leaves you about $50,000 to $60,000 in your cash reserves. Y'all see how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, now this is the part of freight broking that they're not going to teach you in freight broker training school, freight broker, whatever boot camps, or whatever the hell they call themselves. They don't teach you this stuff. Because half of you all, probably 90% of you all, never even seen anything like this. But I guarantee you, those of you who have become brokers and you've been calling out shipping, if you ever finally get a shipper on the phone that says, okay, let's talk. That's how the conversation goes. That's how that conversation goes. How do I know this? Because we've been through several of those conversations. But the difference was we had two investors that were willing to back us to the $260,000 each. Now y'all can see where that kind of money will make a difference.
Yes.
In your success. Because we ran into the same problems that other first year firms are ran into. Haven't been in business long enough. So we had to talk to them long enough to get them what? To listen to us. And one of the things that got us in the door was, well, you got access to $250,000. Whoa. Okay. All right. All right. You young. You new. But you got money. Let's talk. You see how that different? You see how that conversation can get you, how that situation can get you in the door where normally you will not even get past that point.
Right.
Okay, but they know you got at least enough money to prepay for a decent portion of your loads. They're not gonna start you off with what they will start off on C.H. Robinson with, or TQL with, or Landstar with, right? Or an RWI with, right? They're not gonna start you off with, okay, well, we'll give you 10,000 loads per week, 60,000 loads per month, 1,000 loads per day. No. We'll start you off with 125 loads per day. Okay? Maybe 1,000 loads per week. You see what I'm saying? But that's enough to get you started, right? And that's also enough to start generating what? Positive cash flow and revenue, which is a profit, right?
Right.
If you're a small brokerage firm, you get 125 loads a day, and those loads are paying you an average of, even if they were lower paying freight, $3 a mile, the shippers offer you $3 to $4, $3 to $5 per mile, you can still post them up and, do $250 and make 50 cents a mile, right?
Right.
Or $275 or whatever the case may be. So for those truckers out there who think that brokers, especially the independent brokers, are making big money, no, they're not. they're giving you the lion's share of the freight fee because they're small companies. And on top of that, they had to prepay for the loads. So they got a bunch of stuff at risk. So now you all are starting to understand why these brokers seem so frantic in their conversations with you all. Right, Natasha? Right, Daisy? Right, Deja?
Oh yeah.
Because they have money at stake. They want to move them loans. Why? Because they done prepaid for a good portion of those loans. So when you're on the phone with these brokerage firms, especially the ones that may not be a huge brokerage firm, but even the huge brokerage firm, they got something at stake. But this is the part of the industry that you all don't hear about. That you only get a small piece of it when you're talking to these brokerage firms and you hear it in their voice. And a lot of y'all say, why are they so frantic? Why are they being such a-hole? Why are they so paranoid? This is why. They have money at stake.
Why do they hate dispatchers so much?
Yeah. You know? Okay, so that's what they're faced with. And so what we're gonna be doing is when we go into these firms, these smaller firms, these independent freight brokerage firms, we're gonna put them up on game. And we're gonna show them how to level the playing field. And once you show them how to level the playing field, we're even gonna show them how to put together the business model. And after we help them to switch the business model over from the binary to a tri-system, we're gonna be showing them who to go out and pitch, what investors they need to go out and pitch. Now, it's going to be up to them if you want to bring on investors, but we're going to do our best to convince them that you need investors. Right?
Right.
Correct. Because money makes money. Right? Yep. You know, and not saying that you 100% can't make it without investors, because you can, but it's a much easier path with that money behind you. Right? Now, is there a higher risk factor when you go in and take on investors? Yes.
Of course.
But it gives you a lesser resistance in your path. So even though you're taking a higher risk, you have less resistance on your way to being successful. You all see the trade-off?
Yep.
All right. And by assuring them that this is why your consultant is there, this is why they're contracting with us for 2 years, to have that consultant in place to help them navigate, okay, through that process. Okay? Because let's face it, if you're not willing to take risk, then what the hell are you in this game for? Why did you pay all that money to become a broker? You think you was gonna pay all that money, all of a sudden the sun was gonna open up and all the blessings of the glory of the kingdom of heaven was just gonna pour onto you?
They got work to do.
Like you Moses standing there with the staff. You know, part the Red Sea. No. It's not gonna happen that way. You know, you take a risk when you become a broker, and you got to put something up to get something. And when you put something up, you got to come through on it, or you're gonna lose it. You know, this is a high stakes game, but it's one that can be won and be very profitable if you have the right guidance, the right advice, and the right backing. And that's what we're gonna be there to do. Right? All right, very quickly, let's have a Q&A, because it is 1 o'clock already. Believe it or not, time flies when you're having fun. All right, let's have a quick Q&A. It's not going to be very long because we got into a lot of stuff, and but we did cover a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that they needed to be covered, needed to be said. So I was glad we was able to do that. But very quickly, Q&A, because y'all know my wife is standing off in the background. She said, "Hey, wrap it up."
You ain't playing.
Hey, I got a boss too, y'all. I'm sorry.
Right.
All right. So let's have a quick Q&A real quick. We're gonna allow about 4 or 5 questions, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
Hey Calvin, real quick. I'm fairly new to the platform. I joined your Facebook page, but I'm not sure if I have access to the support group or how to access.
All right. When you're on Facebook, just simply send me a message.
Okay.
Just simply shoot me a message right to this Facebook page right here. You got to be sent to this Facebook page, Calvin Butler, RBBS Logistics Training. Okay, and then just send me a message. Please add me to the chat group. Here is my enrollment email address. Okay, either myself or one of the interns will look at it, and then they will verify your enrollment with our enrollment page, and then they will send you a link to the chat group, the resources. Okay, and there you are right there, Jonathan.
Yep.
All right,
Yes.
and now I'm gonna show y'all how this is done. Basically, all they're gonna do is they're gonna do this. All right, then they're gonna go over to our square page. I'm just showing y'all how this is done. Oh, I'm on the wrong. Over here to the square page. Pull up our Square account. We're gonna go to the contact page. Log in, and our login is automatic, you know, so they don't know our passwords and stuff, but it's already saved in there for them. So they go in here, they go to customers. Go to customers, go to directory. Go up here and search the directory. You can put email address. There you are verified. You signed up 18 days ago, and your last visit was 4 days ago. Bam. Then they go back here. They see that you are what you call it. Go over here to the messenger. Then they're gonna open up another Facebook page. Open up the other Facebook page. They're gonna look for chat rules. Look up chat group rules. As soon as that pulls up, see chat group rules. You're gonna look for the RBBS chat group rules. Come on. There it is right there. RBBS. Learn this in the chat group rules. Look at that. Copy and paste that right there. I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna go here to Messenger. There you are, Jonathan, right here. There you are right there, right? You are right there. They're gonna give you a thumbs up, noting that they have verified you, and they're gonna send you this right here. You're supposed to have a copy of the chat group rules, and we're gonna share this in a message, and it pops up right here. Jonathan Williams. There you are, and they hit send, and that should have popped up right in your messenger there.
Correct. Yep.
Hold on, y'all. This is Calvin with RBBS Logistics Learning Center. You have reached us right in the middle or the end of our Booking Freight from Home show, 6 Figures Booking Freight from Home. If you would mind giving me a call back in about 15, 20 minutes, and I'll be available. Hello? Yes. You reached us at the beginning or the end of our Booking Freight from Home show broadcast. If you'll give me a call back in about 10 or 15 minutes, I'll have time to speak with you, because right now you're right in the middle of our show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
It's okay. All right. But there you are right there. I'm sorry?
I got a question.
Sure.
Okay. How would you, what would you suggest for a dispatcher if they are trying to basically pitch themselves to a broker. So I have this, I was calling on loads off of load boards for one of my drivers, and I ran into this broker, and he was like, well, this load is actually just a dedicated lane that I'm trying to see, you know, what type of interest I can get with, and, you know, what type of rates people will be looking for. It's going to be starting in April, and it's going to have 14 loads a day. And I was telling him, you know, he was like, so what rate would you say for this? And so off the top of my head, I'm just like,
so basically, so basically that person was just doing what? It was just shopping for,
yeah.
He was trying to do like a survey of what.
Right, yeah. So, right, I'm like, we over here looking for work, and you just posted a load that's not even real. So, yeah, he posted a load, and he was just trying to, I guess, get carriers.
It depends on what you want to do with that guy. Now, if you want to, if you seriously just want to help him out to gauge what the price would be, give him a serious quote to say, yeah, my carriers will run that load for roughly $275, somewhere between $250 and $325 per mile.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, so I told him.
Now, if you want to really mess with his head,
that's what I want to do.
And just get him to send you some freight. Yeah, man. Hey, man, I got carriers that run that for $1.50 per mile.
Okay, well, the rate that I told him, he was like, oh, that's real good. Okay, because I was on DAT, and so DAT, you know, pulls up a suggestion for loads, for prices. Now, this load is like 400 miles. So I told him,
it's only 400 miles?
It's only 400 miles.
Yeah, I told him like $375 to $4.
Well, I told him $850. He was like, yeah, that's good. So most of the carriers that most people are gonna be like, okay, is it backhaul? Like, okay, it's not backhaul, so I want more. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna be looking for more on the load. Exactly. So my logic was, if I find 14 carriers to do the load for $850 and I find them backhaul, then
it's worth it.
Right.
Now, general rule of thumb. Okay, if it's a short run load, if the load is under 600 miles, under 650 miles, and why do we say, why is that a magic number, that 600 to 650 miles? Does anybody know? That's a magic number. Huh?
HOS?
Well, hours of service and your clock, because the average driver, because the average truck is only going to run, 65 miles an hour, right?
Right, 55.
Right. 65, 55, 65 miles an hour. And it's only going to get 5.56 gallons, miles onto the gallon. So the average truck driver, okay, but not average. If you're good, you're only going to be able to run 600 to 650 miles in one driving shift. All right, that's it. That's it. Now, that's if you got to actually run straight through. Now, when I was driving, I was one of them straight through guys. I didn't like to stop. Hold my water until I got to wherever I need to go. I wouldn't do no autos. I'm serious. I get that truck, I start driving. I used to hate to stop for my half-hour break. Mandatory.
Exactly.
Pull in, set that clock. That half hour's up, I'm pulling out. I'm back on the road. I'm not lying to you. I'm back on the road. Why? Because I wanted to just drive straight through. And I averaged about 615 to 630 miles on my driving shift every single time. Matter of fact, that's what got me paid more when I was on the training truck. Little tip to you guys who are just coming into the industry. Your trainer, if he sees that you are a serious driver, you can do 600 miles on a driving shift, your trainer will offer you part of their training money. Okay? Y'all didn't know that, did you? Y'all didn't know that, did you? Because the trainer because the trainer is getting paid for all the miles. This is how trainers make more money. Trainers make good money in training these young drivers on how to drive. Because the trainer would get paid like, like with Covenant, all right? Covenant was paying 56 cents per mile because it's a team driving truck. But the trainer was getting that for both of you. So the trainers were getting a bump from 56 cents a mile. They got bumped up to 63 cents per mile. But they was getting that 63 cents a mile on all the miles for the truck. Because Covenant was paying me, the person who he was training, $500 per week. Y'all see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Right.
the 63 cents per mile, he was getting all of it. So if he drove 3,500 miles or 3,750 miles per week, and I drove 3,750 miles per week, what was he getting? That's 3,750 times 2. So the truck was doing 7,500 miles per week. And he was getting that times 0.63. You're making $4,725 a week. Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's what goes in his pocket, because the company was paying me $500 a week. No, I'm sorry, $650 a week. Okay. Now I was also, because I was part of the veterans program, I was getting another $450 a week from vocational rehab, on the veterans vocational rehab. The whole time I was in training, right? So I was getting my $450 from the VA. I was getting my $650 from Covenant, and my trainer, because he saw that I knew how to drive. So I was driving 600, averaging 600 miles per shift. After about the first week, he turned to me. He said, and this is no lie, my trainer turned and said, "Look, ain't nothing else I can teach you because your first time out, you took this thing up to in Mount Wichita in Washington, up to the Walmart distribution center up there. That's at the top of a mountain in Washington. He fell asleep. I just kept driving. So I was supposed to wake him when I got to the mountain and say, "Hey, you want to watch me do this?" I just kept driving. we got up to the top of the doggone mountain, and he woke up. He was like, "You drove all the way up here?" I go, "Duh, yeah, we got here." He's like, "You didn't. Well, why did you wake me? You were asleep." "Yeah, but you supposed to wake me when you got to the before you start going up these mountains." I said, "I didn't know." so he slept the whole time going up the mountains. Okay. So after that first week, we had made several drops. So he said, "Look, there's nothing that I can teach you." He said, "So here's what I'm gonna do." And he said, "And you drive great. I mean, you don't do a whole lot of stops or whatever. Your night driving is good. This is that." He said, "Look, here's what I'm gonna do. Right? I'm gonna break you off an extra $700 per week. Because technically, I gotta keep you on the truck for at least 5 weeks." You know what I'm saying? He had to keep me on the truck for at least 5 weeks. He had a 7-week program. But if he felt that after 5 weeks I was good enough to go, he could release me to go and get my own truck. I was covered, right? So, but after the first week and a half, the second week, he said, "Look, I don't see no reason in holding you back from making money, but I can't release you right now. You gotta stay here at least another 3 weeks, another 3.5 weeks. But for the next 3.5 weeks, I'm gonna pay you $750 per week." That was on top of my $650 from Covenant and my $450 from the whatchamacallit. So you see what I'm saying? He made it worth my while because I was a good driver, right? So it was more of a partnership with him because it helped him to get more miles, right? Because his average students were only driving 400, 450 miles. So they were stopping all the time, use the bathroom, stopping, do this. They didn't. And he wasn't making nearly as much money as just when he has a good driver. So when these trainers see that you can drive all the way through and hit that 600-mile mark, most of them will offer you a cut of their money. Why? Because you're benefiting them, right? Greatly. You're benefiting them greatly. Why? Because the more miles they put on like that, it sets them up for more bonuses from the company. Because if they can consistently train drivers to drive 600 miles per driving shift, the company then offers them better rates on their training and bonuses. Y'all see how all that works?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's just a tip for these new guys that are coming in. But going back to what you were saying is, I was trying to get a quote on the rates and stuff. Yeah, if you want to mess with the head, yeah, I got carriers, man. I got carriers that are running that for $1.50.
So I was thinking about telling him, because he was like, well, I'm sure you probably, because it's 14 loads a day. So he was like, I'm sure you probably can't cover them all and blah, 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 blah. So I want to call him back and be like, listen, I'm a dispatcher. I'm part of the national network of dispatchers. Yeah. I can cover all the loads.
There you go.
Every day.
There you go.
I need $800, $900 for the load. Look,
there is so much opportunity within this industry, and you all are in a very unique position of being part of a network, because you can honestly say to someone you have access to more trucks,
right?
What you do, because within the network, they don't necessarily have to be contracted with you, but they contract with somebody within this network, and within the network, you all can go into a partnership and do what? Split your dispatch fees.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So learn to use the power of the network, because you all are in a unique position. People who join this platform, there's a whole slew of reasons why you should join a platform like this.
Right. And then, so how do you convince a broker that they want to work with you?
Just how we just talk to them. Be upfront with them, talk to them, let them know what's going on, let them know what you're a part of. Give them the link to the website and say, hey, go check out our network. Go look at the Who Are We page. Because when they go to the Who Are We page, and they do what? They go over and they do what? They click on to the Who Are We page, and then they get to see our network, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they get to see all the different people who are joining this network. Now, this Who Are We page is not the side of our network, but this is the side of people outside of our network who are joining with us.
Right.
Okay. So what y'all will see here when they come here and they click on this contact us, or learn more about our network, we're going to take them over to our network page. And they look at our members, and it tells us about who we are and all this other stuff. 3,000 independent dispatchers, brokers, and all that type of stuff. Then they come over here and they see these are the people who have joined us. Now, all these people are not part of our platform.
Mm-hmm.
All these people are, and we got more and more people who are joining every day. Some of these people are just independent truck drivers, and hopefully soon we'll start having some shippers on our network too.
Right.
Doing this little networking site that we have going on here. Okay, so talk to them. Let them know who we are. Let them know what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you do that, that's going to impress them. They're like, shoot, I want to work with these guys.
Right.
That's why TQL keeps calling y'all up and sending me emails all the time, because they're trying to get inside our network. And y'all know what I'm talking about.
Well, listen, they need to give us a platform where we can post our trucks and they call us, because I'm tired of calling them.
Yeah. So look. We're getting ready to start working with them, but I did not want to start working with them unprotected.
Okay.
And y'all know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know exactly what I mean. So, but we are getting ready to start working with them, but it's going to be in a way that we are protected. Okay, that's why Mr. Khalil Hodge and I are trying to get this low board finished. That's the way that we can work with all brokers, and we'll be completely protected, and they won't have to pay anything to give us access to their loans.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, everybody. I gotta go.
Okay.
You know, I'm like a little boy. I've been playing. I've been outside playing too long. You know, Mama said, "Hey, put that basketball down." You know what time it is? Time you can come back inside now. So, I appreciate all y'all. But like I tell my little friends when I was out playing basketball, I gotta go home, y'all. But as always, it's been a joy and a pleasure. I thank y'all for joining me every Saturday. I know y'all can. I got a lot of important things that y'all will be doing. Y'all will be out enjoying these beautiful Saturdays. But you all are here with me every Saturday morning. But hopefully, we make it worth your while and gain knowledge and help you all to be better brokers and better dispatchers and better entrepreneurs. Thank you all again. I appreciate each and every last one of you all. You all are doing great work, by the way. I'm always watching the chat, so don't think I'm not watching. I'll jump in every now and then, I'll say something, but I'm always watching the chat groups and seeing what you all are doing and watching you all's progress, okay? So don't think I'm not watching, because I know some of y'all were surprised when I jumped in the other day and said, I knew y'all would figure it out.
Yeah, I saw that. And then I was like, now he said we was going to figure it out. And here I go with this carrier giving me a hard time. I'm about to give Calvin's number.
I had been watching that conversation for a minute, and I said, yeah, they'll figure it out. but you all did a great job in handling that, though. I like the way y'all work together on that. So that's what it's all about. All right, everybody. I appreciate each and every last one of you all, and keep doing what you're doing. You know, surround yourself with great people, and you can't help but be great, because you know, I mean, greatness chases greatness. Okay, so you know, chase greatness. All right. Thank you all again. This has been Calvin with the RBBS Business Learning Center and the National Dispatcher Network, and we hope to see y'all back here on Monday night for How to Dispatch Training from 8 p.m. to 8:45 p.m. Y'all have a blessed weekend.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, see you. Peace.
Bye, Mr. Butler.
Bye.